Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto has unlocked his Sharingan and train harder to prove he not a demon. Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. A little boy 8 years of age with spiky blonde hair, with blue eyes, and 3 whiskers like marks on each cheek. Name was Naruto, and he was running through the streets scared because a mob was chasing him. "Get back here, you demon!" yelled a villager while holding a sharp knife. "Die, demon!" screamed a shinobi with a kunai. More bloodthirsty screams of anger was heard soon after. Little Naruto ran through a small alleyway only to end up at a dead end and then huddled into a corner hoping they didn't see him come down through here. When they found him, they all started laughing at what he was doing. "Look, the demon is trying to protect himself," said a shinobi. "Hee, too bad that won't work, demon," said another shinobi. They all then started stabbing him, cutting him, and beating him like a bunch of wild animals. Meanwhile, a very young jonin was passing through the gate, not too long after finishing a mission. He showed the guards his license and let him pass through. It was Itachi, who is considered a well-known ninja in Konoha. And Itachi left the ANBU and changed to be a jonin, and also he doesn't live with his family in this fanfic. As he was walking towards his apartment, he heard yells of happy, bloodthirsty screams coming from an ally. He also heard a small child screaming out for help. He walked over to investigate, and he saw Naruto getting beaten and stabbed by the mob, and he became angry. So he dove in to rescue the boy. They at first wondered what was going on, but once they noticed who was in front of the boy, they started to become scared. "Itachi, what are you doing here?" said a very scared shinobi. Maybe he's here to help us kill the demo," began a villager, but was killed by Itachi with a kunai to the throat and his Sharingan activated, spinning violently. They all started screaming and running from the angry Uchiha to avoid getting killed. Itachi started to run towards the hospital to get Naruto help. "Don't worry, Naruto, you'll soon get help, I promise," said a worried Itachi. "Itachi-chan," said Naruto very weakly, who then passed out. Itachi then went as fast as his legs could go. He then arrived at the hospital and quickly went in and ran up to the front desk. A nurse looked up and saw Itachi, and then saw a very beaten Naruto. "I'm sorry, we don't have any available rooms for him," the nurse said with anger. Itachi then flared his Sharingan at the nurse and said, "You will help him, or so help me," also flaring his killing intent at her. It was so strong that it was felt by the Hokage, who decided to investigate. When he arrived at the hospital via Shushin, he saw Itachi, who was holding a bloody and beaten Naruto, was staring at a nurse with his Sharingan activated. "Naruto-kun," said a very worried Hokage and ran up to Itachi. "Nurse, put Naruto in a room right now," yelled the Hokage. She obeyed him and ran Naruto to a room to begin treatment on him. Itachi and the Hokage were in the room as they were beginning to discuss what had happened to Naruto. "What happened?" asked the Hokage. Itachi began to explain but was interrupted by one of the doctors. "I'm sorry, you two will have to wait outside while we do the procedure," said a doctor. Itachi and the Hokage decided not to, in case that they would try and kill Naruto while they weren't in there. "Damn it," the doctor mentally cursed. After a while, the doctor said that he would be okay and they left quickly. The Hokage called a few ANBU to protect Naruto, and they obeyed. Hokage Tower. Itachi and the Hokage were discussing things about Naruto, and Itachi then came up with a solution that could help Naruto. "Hokage-sama, I was wondering if I could adopt Naruto, and he could live with me in my apartment," said a hopeful Itachi, and the Hokage just stared blankly at Itachi, and then smiled very happily. "Of course you can, Itachi, he sees you as a brother figure, and I'm sure that he would love to live with you," said an overjoyed Hokage. "Thank you, Hokage-sama," he said as he bowed and left. "Thank Kami that Naruto will finally get a better place to live," thought the Hokage. He then pulled out a very familiar orange book and started to giggle perversely as blood dripped from his nose. The next day, Itachi and the Hokage were walking into the hospital to see Naruto. They walked into Naruto's room and he yelled Itachi and Ai-san, Aji-san, very happily. "Hello, Naruto-kun, how are you feeling after that experience?" the aged Hokage said to the boy. "I feel great, and thanks Nei-san for helping me with that mob," said Naruto. "No need to thank me, Naruto-kun," said Itachi, not wanting to be thanked right now. "Naruto, we have something that we want to ask you, as it would be your choice to do it," said the Hokage. "What is it, Aji-san? Is it something good?" said Naruto. "Well, Itachi and I were talking, and Itachi asked me if he could adopt you and let you live with him," said a hopeful Hokage. "Live with Itachi? Of course, I would love to live with you, Itachi and Ai-san," yelled an overjoyed Naruto. "Good then, now we will go to the orphanage and get the paperwork done," said the Hokage while he was smiling, but that changed when Naruto said something. "Aji-san, I no longer live at the orphanage. They kicked me out 2 years ago on my birthday." "They did what to you, Naruto-kun?" "I will deal with it soon, very, very soon," thought a very angry Hokage, then sat and look crossed his face. "How come you never told me, Naruto?" "Well, you're always so busy with the village and I didn't want you to be bothered by something I could handle on my own." "Naruto, you didn't need to do this alone, you can always call on me." Okay. One more thing, Aji-san, why didn't you tell me that the Kyuubi was sealed in me? Asked Naruto. Itachi and Hokage stopped right in front of the door and looked at each other with shocked faces and then looked towards Naruto. They then placed all kinds of seals to avoid any interruption. Okay, now Naruto, tell us how you found out about the Kyuubi and him being sealed in you. Asked the Hokage. First off, the Kyuubi is actually a girl. Correcting the Hokage. They just sat there listening to the young boy. Shaking from their shock, they then asked, tell us everything that happened. Flashback/Mindscape. Little Naruto was walking through a place that looked like a sewer, and he was ankle deep in water. He then came up to a room with a large cage door and a seal in the middle of the cage. Naruto then walked closer to the cage and stopped when he heard a large booming voice coming from inside the cage. So my jailer finally comes to see me. What do you want, Kit? Who are you and where am I? Asked Naruto, not worried about who it was. Oh come on, you never seen the Kyuubi before. Aren't you supposed to have been killed by the Yandere 5 years ago? Said Naruto, still not scared about it. And what about my second question? First of all, you can't kill me. I would just be reborn in hell and just come back over time. And to answer that second question, you are in your mindscape. Said the Kyuubi. Then how did you end up inside me? I was sealed by your Yandere 5 years ago and into this cage. The Kyuubi replied. Okay then, so why am I here now? Did you want to tell me something? Asked Naruto. Yes, I did want to tell you something. Several things in fact. Said the Kyuubi. Like what? Well, first of all, I'm really a female and this is just my fox form. I actually have a human form, would you like to see it? He nodded and then she started to shrink down to a human-like shape and he walked closer to see. What he saw was a very beautiful woman with a heart-shaped face and blood-red hair, red silted eyes, but she was naked and he noticed that she had very large breasts, at least large C cups to mid-DS, so Naruto turned away blushing with some blood coming out of his nose while stuttering. CC, can YUP please put some CC clothing on? Sorry. Is this better? Naruto turned around and saw that she had a beautiful crimson komodo on. It had blue trim to it that hugged her curves. Yes, thanks. Second thing that I want to tell you is that I didn't attack the Konoha on purpose. I was forced out of my previous Jinchuriki, Kushina Uzumaki, who I think is your mother, by a man wearing a strange mask and forced me to attack the village. You knew my mother, what was she like, and do you know who my father was as well? Those questions would probably have to be answered by your Hokage. Oh, okay, you can continue now. The final things that I wanted to ask you is, do you want me to unlock your dojutsu? What is that? It's a special type of Ijutsu. The one I want to unlock for you is what Itachi's family has, it's called the Sharingan. What can it do? That dojutsu can give you the ability to copy and see through any ninjutsu, genjutsu, or taijutsu. Then yes, please give me eyes like an Ai-san has. Red energy flowed out of the Kyuubi and to Naruto. It creped up his smell body and into his eyes. Pain flooded his body, forcing him to scram out. After a few painful moments, can I use it now so I can see what it looks like? Asked a very happy and tired Naruto. Sure, all you need to do is put a little chakra into your eyes and then look into this mirror to see it. He did what she said and it looked amazing. Blood-red eyes stared back, a single black comma-like shape slowly circled around his pupil. Thanks Q-chan, it looks amazing. Also, there is something that you gain through having me, and that is the ability to use all 5 main elements, including the ability to combine them into sub-elements with hard training. She said, that's so cool. So how do I get out of this place anyway? Just wake up and I think someone is coming, so hurry up. She said quickly. Naruto then woke up just in time to see Itachi and the Hokage come in. Flashback, and what happened on the outside were different things. When the human form of the Kyuubi was described, the Hokage and Itachi were blown back by major nosebleeds. The part about being forced to attack Konoha, the two felt sorry for accusing her. Finally, the part about his new dojutsu, and how he can learn every element, made them nearly faint. It looks like Naruto-kun will become one of the world's strongest people if he trains long enough. Hey, maybe you Itachi could help train Naruto-kun. I'll even put him in the academy in 2 or 3 years to be with many of the next clan heirs. Offered the Hokage. Naruto looked like he was about to explode with joy as he smiled happily. Yeah, I'm going to be a ninja! Shouted Naruto. He then remembered what he wanted to ask Aji-san. Aji-san, who was my father? I already know that my mother is Kushina Uzumaki. So who was he? Naruto questioned and the Hokage started sweating bullets. Okay, then your father was Minato Namikaze the Yandere, 4th Hokage. Said the old man as Naruto and Itachi just fainted at the answer. Looks like they took it too fast, hee. Laughed the Hokage, then pulled out a little orange book to read while waiting for them to wake up. 30 minutes later, Itachi and Naruto woke up to the Hokage reading an orange book while making perverted giggles. Hokage-sama/Oji-san. They both said at the same time, scaring the Hokage half to death. Hee sorry. So anyway, Naruto-kun, could we see those new eyes of yours? Asked the Hokage. Naruto then closed his eyes and put chakra into his eyes, activating it. When he opened them, they saw Naruto's new Sharingan looking at them. Itachi smiled at how the Sharingan ever present in its glory. Naruto then took chakra away from his eyes, turning them back to normal. So what was that about adopting me, Nasan? He asked. Itachi then snapped back to reality and answered him. Huh? Oh. As I said, I was wondering if you would like to come live with me in my apartment. Sure, I would love to. Would you also train me? He asked. Sure, why not? That afternoon / Itachi's apartment. Here we are. Your room is down the hall on the left. Itachi said. Okay, Nai-san, thanks. Naruto replied. I'll make dinner soon, so make yourself at home. As Naruto walked around his apartment, it was fairly normal. Had a one kitchen, one bathroom, a small living room, but it did have 2 bedrooms. The walls were painted a light blue, with some pictures of Itachi's family, mostly of his mother and brother Sasuke, who he has seen around the village. Some pictures of friends or of cousins, but he couldn't find much with his father, and he never looked happy. Not knowing how families worked, he didn't think much of it. Soon he came to his room, and the first thing he noticed was the bed. Mostly due to the fact it was the only thing in the whole room. But he didn't care, because up to now he always slept outside, even at the place where all the other kids were, and people brought them home to become their son or daughter. He didn't like it there. The people in charge would often beat him, and not feed him most of the time for days on end. Hell, they made him sleep outside after a beating on the coldest day of winter. Assholes. He thought out loud with a small amount of anger. I'm sorry if the room is not to your liking, I didn't have time to shop yet. Itachi said with amusement in his voice as he cleaned his hands off on a towel, knowing ever while Naruto wasn't talking about his room. Naruto, now embarrassed, couldn't hide his red face. No. I mean, it's nothing about the room, I love it. This is the first bed I will ever sleep in. It's just, never mind, it doesn't matter now. I live with my Nice and now that's all that matters. He said with smile on the last part, smiles cross on his lips. Good, you feel that way because you're stuck with me for now. Go on, dinner is waiting, I'll be out in a minute. Naruto quickly left to the table in the kitchen, leaving a dust trail behind him. Itachi's smile slowly turns to a frown. His first bed? Were we at war and I didn't notice? He soon left the room to join Naruto, and what stuff made him smile. Sitting at the table was Naruto, his food untouched. Obviously waiting for him and openly showing how impatient he was getting if his grumbling was any indicating. Why did you wait so long to eat, Naruto? I thought you would have eaten both our plates by now. Hey, I'm not that bad. Okay, so maybe I'm that bad, but I wanted our first dinner as a family to be eaten together. He said, looking at the ground. He closed his eyes, ready to cry, thinking he did something wrong, and was scared that his Ni-san wouldn't want him around now. Itachi smiled, touched that Naruto would do something so out of character. Reaching over, he placed his hand on his spiky blonde hair and rubbed gently. Naruto was shocked at the feeling, and opened his eyes to see Itachi smiling brightly at him, as brightly as one gets with him anyways. Naruto was used to having someone put hands on him, but it was to cause him bodily harm. Seeing this caring act made him cry and feel safe, truly safe, like nothing could ever hurt him. They soon eat their food in pace and made small talk. As they enjoyed their night, their laughter filled the air of the apartment. The night ended with a movie Itachi had bought that morning, a Princess Gale that just came out. Naruto was entranced by the movie, and Itachi couldn't help but smile at Naruto's antics. After the movie, Itachi put Naruto to bed. Good night, Naruto-kun, sweet dreams. Good night, Itachi and I-san. Thanks, today was the best day of my life, said Naruto with a true smile, the one he didn't put up in front of people, but the smile of a little boy, just as it should be. Itachi decided in that moment to protect him in any way he could, to have him truly smile for as long and as often as possible. Right after, Naruto was out like a light within 2 seconds. Itachi had to stifle a laugh for just how quickly Naruto would be full of energy 1 second, then out the next. That night, Naruto was for the first time in his small life was able to sleep peacefully with no worries. The next day, after getting up and taking a shower, Itachi has to get Naruto up to start the day. Naruto-kun, time to get up. No response. He puts his hand on Naruto's shoulder and lightly shacks him. Come on, Naruto-kun, we have a full day planned. Still no response from the blonde boy. Itachi was known as a fairly even-tempered man, but even he had limits this early. Naruto-kun, get up now, ah! Screams Naruto as he falls from his bed, his blanket wrapped around him. Oh, good morning, and Naruto said tiredly. Recomposing himself, Itachi watched as Naruto untangled himself from the blanket. Naruto, after we are done eating and you take a shower, we're going shopping to get you something new to wear. Can you teach how to do some ninja stuff? I'm sure I think a good to start would how to unlock all of your chakra. Ni-san, can I do that? I can already use the Sharingan after all. No. You're only using a small pro-chain of your overall chakra, just as much as it takes to use it. The rest is still locked inside of you. Naruto closed his eye in thought and tilted his hand to the side much as a fox would. Okay, so if I can unlock the rest, I can learn really cool jutsu? Itachi simply nodded his head. Sweet. I'm gonna learn how to do cool jutsu just like Ni-san. Itachi smiled and laughed at the young boy's enthusiasm. Well, if you wish to learn, we better eat and get going then, at a clothing shop in the Uchiha district. And that they did. 30 minutes later, they were out the door and on their way to a clothing store. When the shopkeeper glared at Naruto, Itachi shot him one back, daring him to try something. The killer intent liking from Itachi made the man back off faster than you could blink. An hour later of shopping, Naruto walked out of the dressing room in some new clothing. Naruto was wearing a black t-shirt with an orange spiral on the back, black umbu pants, and black fingerless gloves with metal studs where his knuckles would be, and to finish his the emo look Itachi was throwing at him, black shinobi sandals were on his feet. You look good, Naruto-kun. Thanks, Senai-san, but it's like it's missing something. I think alright. Hold on, I'll be right back. With that, Itachi took off for 2 or 3 minutes. He returns with something held under his arm. Here, try this on, I think it will look good on you. Naruto unfolded it to find it was a very dark blue jacket that went down to his ankles. Black leather straps hung off the front, made to quickly do or undo them. On the inside were pockets for scrolls or off-hand stuff lined with steel mesh to protect the wearer. On the left shoulder was metal plate, and the right side, the size of Naruto's hand, was imprinted proudly the Uchiha crest. Without a second thought, he put on the jacket his Nai-san give him. This is so cool, I look like a badass. Naruto proudly yelled. You won't sound the part if you keep yelling like that though. Itachi chuckled when Naruto began to pout. That also doesn't help your case any. He mused at the youth. Hey Nai-san, what's that thing on that back? It looks like a holder? Asked Naruto with a confused look. Oh, you'll see, Naruto, at the Flying Dragon weapon shop. Next they headed off a weapon story and a basic set of kunai and shuriken, which was 40 of each. Mesh armor of different sizes with steel arm and leg guards. When Naruto wasn't looking, Itachi also paid for a set of special wrapping of legs and arms. Naruto walked around the store, eyeing the many and varying items. They had every weapon a person could ask for. Looking over every weapon they had, Naruto felt he was in a candy story. That one has taken a liking to my shop, it seems, said the gruff-looking shop owner said to Itachi as Naruto had stars in his eyes. He was as tall as Itachi with many scars on his face and arms. A strong-looking body honed from years of blacksmithing. Neat tucked brown hair tied in a ponytail with a goatee complete with deep brown eyes. Indeed, it seems he has. His the boy, it's he? Itachi nodded. Well, his welcome's here any time. Fuck the pig-headed people. You better be good to him. Itachi has had a hard life. He needs you, someone to look after him and care for him. Yes, he does. And I'll be there for him, don't make the mistake thinking I won't, said Naruto's adoptive brother in a hard voice. I just wouldn't want my daughter to have to live the life he had to live, that all. Speaking of your daughter, how is Tenten doing, Myosha? Itachi asked. She is doing very well in the academy. Perfect aim, never misses once, said the proud father. Hey Nai-san, look at what I found, Naruto said as he ran up to them with a sword in its sheath wrapped in a cloth. Let's see it, Naruto-kun. After grabbing sword and unwrapping it, the sheath and handle were rectangular in shape and midnight black in color. The handle itself had a small indent where a deep red like blood color metal was placed. Pulling it out slowly, it gave a beautiful ringing noise. The blade was silver with a reddish blade edge and looked deadly. Think Sasuke's sword from Shippuden but with the colors. This is a beautiful sword, Naruto. How did you find this? Itachi asked as he sheathed it. I don't know. I guess something just called out to me. It's really weird to explain. I see. Well, in that case, their only thing to do. Itachi smiled at Naruto, then handed the sword to the man. As of today, Naruto, the sword is yours, take good care of it. What, are you serious, Nai-san? After a nod, Naruto keeping looking like he couldn't believe what just happened. Are you going to teach me how to use it? I will teach what I can. Come on now, let's go unlock the rest of your chakra now, Naruto. Okay. At the academy training grounds. They soon found themselves at the academy's training ground. Naruto had taken off his jacket and had Itachi to hold onto. After explaining the basics of chakra to Naruto, we find our blonde hero setting on a seal array trying to unlock his chakra. But so far to no luck. Nisan, what those chakras feel like? I guess the best way to say it is it's a warm feeling. When you feel Naruto-kun, you grab it and pull it. Pull as much as you can. Keep pulling it to the point won't budge anymore. With a nod, Naruto closes his eyes to feel his chakra. Soon a sensation Itachi described could be felt. Naruto did what he was told and pulled it. But no matter how much he pulled, it kept coming, so he kept going. There's so much it doesn't seem to end. But Nai-san said I shouldn't stop, so I won't. I won't stop, Nai-san. When Naruto started pulling on his chakra, on the outside Naruto looked calm, almost statue-like. Itachi was trying to sense chakra from Naruto. Then a small flicker began showing itself as the grass around the child started to be pushed outward. That's it, Naruto, you can do it. Then a large burst of chakra started pouring out of Naruto's small frame. The level just kept climbing up higher and higher. Damn, what the hell? How can he have so much already? The chakra got so high it became visible, looking as if Naruto was on fire with blue flames that kept getting larger. It was at this point that Itachi started to break out in a cooled sweat. How much more can he pull out? He said out loud. What Itachi saw next amassed him. The chakra itself started to twist inward to Naruto's body, look like a whirlpool. Then in a split second all of it was pulled into the blonde hero's body like it was never there. Naruto opened his eyes looking tired. A smile spread across his face. How did I do, Nai-san? You did amassing, Naruto. I'm so proud to be your father, Itachi said without thinking, with a smile and eyes closed, missing the fox-like smile on Naruto's face. Good night, Dad. And with that Naruto drifted to sleep. Itachi picked Naruto up after gathering their things. He headed home and put Naruto in his bed and packed things into trailing packs for what he had planned in the near future. As Itachi sat down as there was a knock at the door. Now who could that be? Itachi said to himself as he opened the door. To his shock it was his mother, who he had not seen since he moved out because his father would not allow it. Mother? I'm so happy to see you, but why are you here? I, though father wouldn't let anybody in the clan see me as clan head. Makoto was a beautiful woman with long black hair like most Uchiha. Don't forget about Naruto's blonde hair, with onyx color eyes. She was wearing a blue mid-thigh skirt and a red tank top with a darker blue jacket that stopped just below her chest. Itachi, your asshole of a father cheated on me. I'm leveling his ass and taking Sasuke with me, she said with a raising voice. Okay, but you need to keep it down, mother, my son is trying to sleep, Itachi said with his monotone way of speaking. At first she simply compiled, not thinking much of it, but soon what was said clicked in her mind. Son? What do you mean, son, Itachi? She spouted in a semi-quiet voice. After taking a seat on the couch, Itachi began to tell what happened in the last 2 days. They keep talking for an hour, going over almost everything. Who would have thought he would have the Sharingan, and at such a young age? So what are you going to do now, Itachi? I'm leaving to train Naruto tomorrow for 2 or 3 years. Until then, feel free to live here. I'm taking Naruto to train him for 2 or 3 years. Until then, feel free to live here. Makoto just sat there doing her best impression of a fish. Are you sure you want this? Itachi nodded. Okay, I love you, Itachi, take care of yourself and Naruto. She lovingly hugged her son, and then punched him hard in the head, sending him to the floor. What was that for? Itachi whined as he rubbed his head. That's for making me a grandmother already. Now I feel old. She dropped her head in depression. Well, you sure as hell don't look like it, mother. I'm going to bed, I need to get up early. You can have my room. Thanks, son, I love you. Do you know any places I could rent out? Yes, I'll make a list before I leave to talk to Hokage-sama tomorrow. Could you watch Naruto when I'm gone? No problem. What kind of grandmother would I be if I couldn't do that? She said, smiling. After Itachi went to bed, Makoto looked around the apartment, and soon came across the sleeping Naruto covered in a blue confiter. She smiled at seeing the small boy and slowly went over to him. Sitting next to him, she covered the new Uchiha a little more. So you're my grandson, Well, welcome to the family, Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha. Then she closed her eyes and took a deep, calming breath. Take care, one young empath. May you grow strong in both body and spirit. Grow strong, for you are Uchiha, the family of fire and strength. She opened her eyes and looked at Naruto. That's the prey of our family, Naruto. May you grow strong under Itachi's training. I fear that in the coming days that you won't have a choice but to be strong, for yourself and this family. The next day with Itachi. Itachi woke bright and early for his talk with the third Hokage. Itachi had been thinking of the training Naruto would need. As he neared the Hokage tower, he noticed Samambu watching him more than normal for someone going to tower. After entering the tower, he went straight to the Hokage's office and knocked on the closed red door. Come in, said in voice of the Hokage in a leader-like fashion. Hokage-sama, I need to talk to you, Itachi said as he entered. Looking up from his desk Sarutobi, he saw Itachi coming in. This brought a smile to the Hokage's face. The old Hokage of 55 years of age sat at his desk. His lightly tanned skin did not hide the aging lines on his face. His white, spiky, fading hairline showed. His brown eyes showed compassion and love for his village and his people. Yes, Itachi, what can I do for you? How is Naruto-kun? Said the aged Hokage, radiating grandfatherly love when speaking of Naruto. Well, I came to speak to you about Naruto and is very happy and doing well. With a simple nod from the Hokage, Itachi continued on. Well, I'm going to take Naruto outside of the village for training tonight, and would like your help on some things. Of course, Itachi, what do you need? I need permission to train Naruto out of the country. A list of possible training grounds. I will give the list you asked for, but I want mouthy reports on him. I will also give him some of my personal jutsu to learn. Is that acceptable, Itachi? Of course, Hokage-sama, and I thank you for your help on this matter. Now, Itachi, I need to talk to you about something of the utmost importance. Itachi's face got hard at full tension. It has come to the worst possible conclusion, Itachi. They are going to rebel. They will try to attack soon and kill everyone in their quest to power. And we both know who's behind that one. So father will lead them to war against the village after all. Itachi balled his fist until his knuckle turned white. Those power-hungry morons, what the hell are they thinking? Itachi said as he started to cry. That means that it's my family or the whole village. God damn it. He started to cry harder. He knew his family was going to be killed off on the Hokage's order. But he knew if he was in charge he would order it as well. I'm so sorry, Itachi, I tried to stop this, but your father wouldn't hear of it. The order was already given. Stopping himself from crying and drying his tears, looked at his Hokage. Who's going to do it? Your old friend Shinjo Uchiha will be the one to do it. But there is good news, Itachi. Those made Itachi look at the old Kage. He is to only kill the ones involved with the rebellion. That's good, said a relive Itachi. It's still over 70% of the clan, but at least some will live. Is mother and my brother on that list as well? Yes, but neither will be able to take the position of clan head. Then who will lead the clan Hokage-sama? When you return to the village you will be clan head Itachi, then Naruto after you. That had been the biggest shock Itachi had that day. But why me? Hokage-sama, there has to be someone other than me? You are the only choice because it's well known to those in power that you and your father would often fight over the rebellion as well the whole village. That makes you ideal to rebuild face with the villagers after this. You are also known to be the most powerful Sharingan user that will make those of the Uchiha clan unite under you. Also you will change the teaching of your clan as you see fit and teach them the right way. Itachi lowered his head to think it over. Looking every possible detail over, he knew the leader of his home was right. He was the best and only chose on the matter. So he just nodded his head in understanding to the Hokage. Come Itachi, we need to get your things together for your and Naruto's training trip. Meanwhile, after Naruto got up he found Makoto cooking breakfast in the kitchen and freaked out. Soon Makoto calmed him down and told him that she was his grandmother. Then they talked about the Uchiha clan and being a ninja, and her personal. Soon they went to park to play for 2 hours of fun-filled laughter. Now they're eating ice cream, enjoying the afternoon of fun and laughter. Thank you for such a great day, I had so much fun, said the young blonde Uchiha. You're very welcome Naruto, I had fun, said Makoto with a small smile. I can't wait to learn how to be a ninja from dad, I'm going to be super strong and smart, Naruto said with a big grin over his face. Makoto laughed at his energy and couldn't help but feel happy. I'm sure you will Naruto, but don't ever lose who you are. I won't, because now I don't have to hide myself. I have a family that loves me and I'll protect them with my own 2 hands. A proud smile formed on her face. Keep that to heart, and there's no limit to what you can do Naruto. You're going to change the clan for the better if you keep that up Naruto, I just know it. Naruto, did you have fun today, said a monotone voice from behind Naruto and Makoto. As they turn they see Itachi standing there with a smile on his face. In a split second Naruto tackled him to the ground, hugging him. Dad, I had so much fun today. We went to the park and had ice cream and talked, it was great. I'm glad to hear that. Naruto, we're going to go on the training trip in a few minutes, so go get ready. After a few minutes they got their stuff together and headed to the village gate. They both looked back at their home for a few seconds, both making silent vows to come back stronger. Then they headed out to find the first of the training grounds. Later that night scrams were heard from the Uchiha clan compound. A few days later at the first training ground, Naruto sat in an open grass field in his boxers. Itachi was giving Naruto the basic rundown of how to use chakra and jutsu. They were somewhere in fire country. Their camp sat up as a basic 2 tents, a pit for a fire, and all the things they would need. Okay Naruto, I need you to stand up now, said Itachi from a standing position as he looked at Naruto. Naruto didn't hesitate standing up as he did. Itachi quickly threw 5 unraveling wraps into the air. His hands moved faster than Naruto's eyes could follow. When his finished, the wrapping stopped mid-fall and quickly went to Naruto, wrapping around his arms, legs, and chest. After they stopped, strange symbols appeared all over the wrappings, and in the middle of hands and feet showed the word gravity. As soon as that was finished, a crushing weight come all over young Naruto's body, making him fall onto the ground. Tun-san, why am I so heavy now? I feel like I'm being pulled down to the ground. That because I put a gravity seals on you for training. This is the first stage, that's double normal gravity. Naruto looked at him with bugged eyes. As he was about to say something about it, Itachi interrupted him. Naruto, if you can do this in training, then you will become very strong. A gentle look came over Naruto's face, then became one of determination. If it will make me strong, then I'll do it and master my training. I'll become the strongest ninja in the world. He started to try to get up but was having a hard time. I won't let this stop me, I will become strong. He got a foot under him. Starting pushing up, he put all his strength in to keep up, soon standing there in front of his father Itachi. Well, said Naruto, now we will are going on a 14-mile jog, then you will do 200 push-ups and set-ups. And then move on to chakra control and taijutsu. Naruto then face planted on the ground. Are you okay Naruto-kun? Fine, I'm fine, he said as got off the ground a lot easier, this going unnoticed to him, but not Itachi. He is already getting used to it. It must be the QB healing his muscle, making them stronger in the presses. If this keeps put, I can increase his training tenfold. Okay father, let's go, I'm ready. After that Itachi jogged off on an easy pace, but Naruto had to try a lot harder to keep up. This is going to be a long 3 years. But I'll come back stronger thanks to father's training. Naruto, you're falling behind, move it or I'll have you do 100 extra push-ups and set-ups. Then again it could kill me too, Naruto thought as he sped up. After 14 painful miles, Naruto wasted no time and got straight to push-ups and set-ups. When he finished, his whole body throbbed in pain, fire filled his veins and his breaths were labored. After a short break, it was on to chakra control. Soon Naruto found himself surrounded by trees. Itachi reached up to a low branch and picked off a leaf from the tree. Okay Naruto, this is the first step to gaining control over your huge amount of chakra you have, is keep this leaf to stick to your forehead using nothing but your chakra. Father, how does keeping a leaf on my forehead help me become a ninja? Will it allow me to keep a sword to my head? Naruto asked as he imaged himself armed to the teeth and a short sword sticking to his head fighting a horde of enemies ninja. Well, I suppose one could do that. Itachi's sweat dropped. But the point is to help you learn to control your chakra so you don't waste it trying to use jutsu. For you personally, it will be the hardest thing you learn how to do. Nodding his head and understanding, Naruto takes the leaf and puts it to his head and sticks for a second before it shots off like a bullet. Time and time again it kept happening, just a second longer with every attempt he does. After half hour, Naruto loses his temper, feeling as is going nowhere, and cusses like no tomorrow. Why can't I do this? Didn't I say it was going to be hard for you, Naruto? Yes, I don't get why it's so hard to do this. It's because you have so much chakra and zero experience using it correctly. Those two things together are what make your control so bad. The adoptive father said in full lecture mode, then small gentle smile appears on his face. Believe it or not, Naruto, you are getting this very quickly. I know you're young yet, so you have a long way to go, but you'll get strong, Naruto. And the first step is getting this down. I believe in you. The look of shock covered Naruto's face, then a confident took over with a steeled gaze. Getting back into the grinder, Naruto put the leaf to his forehead. Itachi took this moment to leave to go catch lunch. After an hour getting a few fish to cook, Itachi returns to something he didn't think he would see. Setting still, Naruto sat with a leaf in the middle of his head and one per temple. Staying in one place, he watched Naruto continue for 20 minutes before Naruto opened his eyes with a yawn, but the leaf stayed in place. To be able to get this far in so short of time is far above what I expected at his age, Itachi thought. Come on, Naruto, it's time to eat. A short while later, Naruto was eating more than his fair share of the fish. Meaning eating like he hasn't eaten in weeks. After inhale, I mean eating lunch, they got into Naruto's studies, teaching everything he would need to know was the goal. This went on for several hours, showing this was not his strong point, and to end the day jumping into taijutsu. Their taijutsu practices consisted of the very bisect of the interceptor fist style taijutsu, going over it until it was perfect, and then some more to lock it into place. I'm so sore, Naruto said as they walked back to camp. The pain I feel has pain, Naruto fake cried. If you feel that way, then get over it. Itachi smiled, playing along with Naruto's antics. Pretending to be upset, Naruto says. Fine, be that way. One day I'll get strong enough to beat you in a fight, father. The last part he said completely serious and full with confidence. Itachi is filled with pride in his adoptive son and smiles as Naruto father. I hope you do one day, Naruto. Keep training like we have been, and you will. I'll keep training until I drop. Good, now then tomorrow I will push your taijutsu farther with 2,000 punches and kicks per hand and leg. Naruto stops with the look of complete horror on his face. He knows his father was completely serious, and slowly a smile forms on Naruto's face. Fine, I will do this insane training and push further. I will become stronger than father. For the next 2 months, Naruto trained in this fashion, pushing him farther and farther. Sweat, blood, and tears were shed every day. Naruto wouldn't have much of arms or legs if he didn't heal by the next morning. At the end of the week, Itachi would go over what Naruto learned. Then it was time to move on and out of Fire County. During his time there, Naruto got every good at controlling his chakra. Itachi was impressed, so he taught Naruto Shadow Clone Jutsu, confident that with Naruto's revisers he could handle it. Itachi was surprised when Naruto performed the jutsu, thinking 1 or 2 at the max, when Naruto made 50 before becoming too exhausted. Itachi taught Naruto the secret of the Shadow Clone and allowed Naruto to increase his studies. Father, where are we going now? Naruto asked. We're going to the Mist Village first so you can water walking and water jutsu. Then the village hiding in the clouds for lighting, sand for wind, and lastly village hidden in the stone as our last stop for earth jutsu. And if you think this is some kind of vacation, then you're mistaking. But we could have some fun if you train hard. It was going to be a long and painful 3 years for our blonde hero. 3 years later at the village gate. It was early morning, the sun has not even started to show and a thick fog hung in the air. 3 figures walked towards the village hidden in the leaves. All of them were dressed in dark blue rain cloaks with hoods covering their faces. 2 of them stood less than 6 feet in height, the other was just over 5 feet. They were stopped at the gate by 2 Chunin guards. Halt! Why are you here? Said the Chunin, trying and falling at intimidating the traversers. We are returning home from a training trip, said a man that then took off his hood. As it fell, it showed his black hair and onyx eyes. Itachi-sama, I'm so glad you have returned, said an Uchiha guard walking up to them. I have heard what happened. How is everyone? They are well. Your mother has been acting as clan head until your return and has done a fine job doing so, said the Uchiha as he bowed to his clan head and stood back up. Will you and the young hare be returning to the compound after you see the Hokage? Yes. But it will be some time before we come back. We have a lot to talk about with Hokage-sama. Very well, I will inform the clan as my shift is ending. With a quick nod they entered the village. As they walked to the tower, Itachi took off his cloak, opening a scroll and sealing it away. He now wears a black long-sleeve shirt, umbu pants, and umbu shoes. His fishnet shirt was easy to see under his black one. They didn't stop as they just walked right into the Hokage office with a clam air around them. Hello Hokage-sama, we have returned. As you know, Naruto's training went far farther than we originally thought, said Itachi in his business-like, monotone voice. A smile appeared on the third's face. So I heard, but I would like to see him for myself. So Naruto, why don't you come over and let me see you? The shortest one came over to the Hokage and took off the cloak to see a more mature face with 3 whiskers birth makers. His clothing had not changed much from 3 years ago, but his dark blue jacket was now black with blue flames with red tips at the bottom's trim. Note he has his sword sealed away. His blonde hair was a little longer but had not changed. The air around Naruto seemed calmer than before but has a warmer feel to it. Hi Aji-san, I missed you. I see you took care of the village. So when can I become an official ninja? The old Kage couldn't help but laugh at his energy. Even with him being calmer, he was still full of energy. After 2 years in the academy, I'm afraid. But it gives you a chance to make friends in your age group. Now Naruto, why don't you go have a day off and have fun? We don't need you here for the boring stuff. Okay, see you later Aji-san. Bye dad, I'm go train for a little while and then get some ramen. Okay, but don't pig out or I'll have to work it off of you. Itachi said with a smile that made Naruto as pale as a ghost, and Naruto quickly left out the nearest window. Well, did you finish that little deal till we talk about Sarutobi? Said a gruff voice of the stranger still wearing his rain cloak. Yes, I did. The Hokage handed the stranger some papers and a head bended. Yuki-same Hashigaki are now a Jonin ninja of Konohagakure. As the Hokage said that, the man took off his hood, revealing a blue-skinned man with the appearance of a shark. With sharp pointed teeth and gill-like marks on his cheek, it's hard not to think that. Thanks Saruo Hokage-sama, said the grinning shark man, and thank you for helping Naruto with his training. The smiling Kage said with joy. Please, that little kid was fun as hell to train. He can take a beating and get back up like nothing. As he said that, he took out a scroll and unsealed a large sword and wrapping that was as long as he was tall. At this point Itachi jumped in. So Sarutobi-sama, have you given any thought of what you are going to with Naruto do when he leaves the academy? Yes, I have. When Naruto leave and reaches the age of 15, he will be put under the CRA. That got the other two to look right at him like he grew a second head. Why would he be put under that, Hokage-sama? Because Itachi, there's now only 6 Uchiha in the whole world now. You, Naruto, Sasuke your brother, Makoto your mother, the Chunin you saw, and Shinjo who became a missing ninja. You were going to be put under this, but you're going to clan head and is already your right to enact this as your right at this time, so it's a moot point. The old Kage take out his tobacco pipe and starts smoking. After taking a few moments he started talking again. Your mother is becoming too old, and I wouldn't put a woman under that anyway. Sasuke is your brother but is feared that your father has had too much influence on him. So Naruto is the only chose now, and in truth the only one to begin with, as he was only adopted just before the relabeling ended and has the Sharingan. I see, but please don't force anyone onto him, asked the clan head. I won't have to until his 18th birthday. Now tell me everything that has happened in the last years. With Naruto. Naruto was on the other side of the village enjoying his day. Outside of some new stores and restraints, the village had not changed from 3 years ago. He so found himself in restraint part of the village as they were just starting their day. As his stomach started growling at him, he decided it was too early for ramen, so he went to the closest place to him, which was a barbecue place. As he entered, it looked fairly normal, hardwood floors and places to sit down conformably. What was cool about the place is that in the mid of the tables were grills to cook the food how you like. After eating, Naruto walked around some more and soon came across a small group of men, 6 in all, that a little older than him, surrounding a blonde girl his age in an alleyway with B-cup bust, her hair up in a bun and a thick strand covering one side of her face, and baby blue eyes, in a purple top that shows her midsection and shorts that complemented her bottle butt, wrapping round her thighs and under her top, most likely hiding her true breast size. Come on babe, join us for some fun, you'll like it? The leader of the men said. There's no reason to make it hard on yourself. Go fuck yourself. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole, the blonde girl said angrily at the men surrounding her. Well, you had your chance bitch, now we do it the hard way, and to think I would have been so much gentler to you if you had just came like a good whore. As the group jumped to grab her, a black and yellow blur appeared, kicked them all upside of their heads in a spin kick. What the hell was that? The leader said as he held his head in pain, as did the other men there. Standing there in the circle of people was a kid no older than 11 with his arms at his side and an icy stare that looked through them like if the death himself was looking at them. The look in his eyes made them pause for a second before they became enraged. What the how did he do that? I couldn't even see him move, the girl thought. The leader of group quickly got a cocky grin on his face as he saw it was just a kid and thought he simply got the drop on them. Okay kid, if you get out of here now you won't get hurt. We just want the little blonde bitch behind you. Naruto narrowed his eyes and get into a loose stance. Fine, get him boys. As soon as he gives the order they charged to get the blonde boy, only they couldn't lay a hand on him. He moved too fast and blocked everything they sent his way, and worse, he never moved from where he was. Soon with quick hard punches disabled 4 of the 5 men attacking him. Naruto grabbed the last punch and pulled, bringing him closer for Naruto to uppercut him in his jaw with a sickening crack as his jaw shuddered apart. As the man fell unconscious, Naruto started walking forward to the leader, who was on the ground on his ass, shaking in fear at the boy who just took out his men without them touching him once. You want her for yourself, you can have her, just leave me alone. He still kept coming at the rapist. You will pay for what you tried to do here today, you scum, Naruto said in a dark voice as the air around him seemed to become colder. The man tried to get up to run away, only Naruto to kick him in his side, forcing him to the ground. Then he grabbed him by his neck, holding him in the air, then slamming him into the wall of the alleyway. The look in this boy's blue eye made him tear up in fear. Naruto then dropped the man for him to get a knee shoved into his stomach. The man started to dry hive to be kicked in the face. The man was on the ground holding his face in pain of having his nose being broken. Then feel the back of his head being grabbed and shoved down into the pavement below, bring Sweet unconscious. The girl was wide-eyed at the boy who had saved her as he was tying up the group of rapists. Who is this guy? He beat them all without breaking a sweat. She was sniped out of her thinking when she heard a voice. I'm sorry, what did you say? In a caring voice with the softest eye that made her melt, he said. Are you okay, miss? Why yes, thank you for your help, she said as a full-body blush took over. She found him to be really cute with the whiskers marks. You're welcome, I'm just glad you're okay. I called for police to pick them up, he said with a bright fox-like smile. That smile made her body heat up. That G good W, what's your name if I may ask? My name is Naruto, what's yours, beautiful? She felt her heart skip a beat. My name is Ino Naruto, how about I walk you home, Ino? His soft blue eyes made it impossible for her to say no. But why would she say no in the first place? That sounds nice. A cute smile came to her face that made Naruto blush. Okay, let's go then. Ino grappled his arm as they walked and hugged it close to her. The walk was nice, but it was too quick for Ino. So were you from Naruto? I don't think I have seen you around before. I was on a training trip for 3 years with my father, we just got back today, Naruto said, looking her straight in her eyes. Wow, that's so cool, I have to bug my dad in order to get any training. So does that mean you're going to be a ninja? She said with a smile. Ino, welcome home, sweetie, who's your friend? Said a much older woman who appeared to be 30 or so, waving at them from a flower store window. Is this where you live, Ino? Asked Naruto. Yes, I do. Thank you for walking me home, Naruto. It was my honor to walk you home, Ino. I'll see you another day. With that he left, leaving Ino standing there dreamily until something hit her. Damn it, he never answered my question about him being a ninja. Ino screamed at the top of her lungs. Ino, come in already. I'm coming, Mom, said a defeated blonde female ninja, a woman with soft, short, pale blonde hair looking like an older Ino, huff blowing some strand hair out of her face. What was keeping you so long, dear? She said as she went back to cooking lunch. I was talking to a boy who saved me from being the entertainment of 6 assholes. Oh my dear God, Ino, are you okay? Did they thouch you? I'm fine, Mom, as I said, this boy came out of nowhere and saved me. Over the course of several minutes, Ino explained what had happened. Oh well, maybe you should invite him over so we can give him a proper thank you, said the blonde mother. With Naruto walked until he got to the Hokage Tower to meet up with Itachi. As he came out of said tower, without saying anything, Naruto blended in with Itachi and Kisame. How was your day, Naruto? Do anything interesting? Itachi asked. Not really, ate some food, saved a blonde girl from some rapists, Naruto said in a nonchalant manner. Would have been easier if I was used to the new gravity seals you put on me. What are you at now anyway? Asked the shark-like man. 11 times normal gravity now. Dame kid, you don't take anything at a slow pace, do you? Kisame grow a shark-like grin. Did you coop a feel on her, player? In an instant Naruto was sporting a full-body blush. What are you saying, you perverted fish? Itachi and Kisame laughed at poor Naruto. Shut up. It's not funny, Naruto pleaded. Not, it only increased their laughter. Father, may I make a request of you? He said without a hint of humor. What is it, Naruto? Itachi said with a raised eyebrow. I wish to live outside of the compound for as long as I'm in the academy, and for you to not tell anyone who doesn't know that I'm your son. Itachi's eyes widened from shock for a moment. His eyes softened as he looked at his son's face. I will allow you to do this, but I must ask, why do you want this? I must gain the people's respect before I become clan head. A look of confidence made it seem that nothing could stop him. I will make people see me for who I am. I am Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha, Naruto said, and his fox-like grin shone in full blast. Kisame's and Itachi's eyes widened as the wind blows, shifting Naruto golden hair, and his coat flapped around his body as the sun hit him. In a way, his body seemed to glow, making him look like a hero from a story. Very well, you have school tomorrow, don't be late. Itachi threw envelope-filled wish cash to Naruto as he started to walk away. Do well and make me proud, son. 5 hours later, Naruto ended up buying Itachi's old apartment before him and Itachi left to go training. The paint was slightly faded but overall looks the same. The living room had a new black leather couch with a black cafe table with a blue spiral in the middle. Bookshelves covered the walls. History, non-fiction, fiction, mythology, clans of the world, and theory volumes of Nin, Tai, Gen, and Chakra filled the shelves. The kitchen got the top of the line stove, refrigerator, and dishwasher with silver chrome. Black garnet counter polished to a shine. New cookware lined the counter from the refrigerator to the stove, but in a way it wasn't cluttered and plenty of room to make a meal. Clear red and blue glass dishes filled the cabinets. The refrigerator and pantry were stocked full of foods. Naruto took Itachi's old room, with a queen-size bed, covered in a light red sheets and dark blue conferred, on an oak bed frame and 2 cherry nightstands makes it a nice sleeping area. A dark oak dresser 6 foot long and 3 tall sat across from the bed with a 32 plasma screen TV on top. The last thing Naruto did was turn his old room into a study for ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu scrolls. The room itself has a security seal on it to prevent anyone but himself from opening the door. An iron oak desk lay against the northern wall and bookshelves filled with scrolls from D to a rank of every element, and many non-elements filled the room. Well, that's a hard day's work done, Naruto said as he yawned. What time is it? Asked the shirtless Naruto. Man, it's 11 o'clock already, better get to bed. He put his arms over his head and stretched, showing his hard abs and pecs but not bulky to get in the way that is only honed over years of training. After a hot shower and brushed teeth he was ready for bed. Getting under his covers, Naruto thinks back on all the days he spent to get where he is now. To be this strong, and how hard it was to get here, how many bones his broken and tears he shed, and what the future would hold. How would the people of Konoha treat him? Would they still see him as a monster? How good were the other kids of his generation? Were any of them going to be a challenge? These were just a few that flew across his mind as he drifted to sleep. Flashback. Beep. 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 The alarm went off, strewing blonde hair within the red sheets. Shut up, you stupid alarm clock, said a groggy Naruto, but it kept beeping. Wham! The clock busted into an unfixable miss on the nightstand and floor. Naruto pulled his fist back to his body. As he was about to fall back to sleep, a second muffled alarm started to make a noise. Fine, I'm up, Naruto yelled at no one as he swung his legs over the side and opening the nightstand to find the devil's machine going off. I hate your kind so much, Naruto sent at it as he turned it off to replace the one he destroyed. Once the miss was cleaned up and a new back up in the nightstand from the closet. 5:30. Well, school starts at 8 o'clock, so I have time for my light training exercises. 200 laps around Konoha, 1000 push-ups, and set up with a 250 pounds boulder on my back, Naruto said with a smile. On the other side of Konoha, my guy felt a chilly go up his spine. Some young ninja is going through the power of youth. To keep up with him, I will do 2000 speed push-ups per arm with a 500 lb boulder, with Naruto. An hour and 30 minutes later, Naruto was finished with his exercises and returned home. After a quick shower and breakfast, Naruto set out to start his first day of school. Naruto walked through the village with a slow stride as if he owned the place and had nowhere to be. It didn't matter, Naruto would still be early. 20 minutes later, Naruto showed at the academy to see a mass of people outside of door that lead into the academe. As Naruto looked around at the young ninja hopefuls, he was reminded how he used to dream about becoming a powerful ninja, and having his name go down in history without knowing what it was like to fight, just to survive and to protect. Flashback no jutsu. Naruto, 9 years old now, was jumping from branch to tree branch as he and his father moved through the thick swamp lands of Water Country, home of the Mist Village, far away from the war going on in the Mist Village. Today was a big day for Naruto. He would finally get to go on a mission with his father. They weren't really mission, more like bounty hunting. Itachi would come across a village and hear about bandits attacking the town in order to get as much money as possible during the bloodline war going on in the Mist Village, making outlying villages easy prey for them as they had no one to call for help. Needless to say, once Itachi was on the mission, they didn't last long. The pay was not much, but was still plenty for such a war-torn country. After a year of training here, Naruto had grown dramatically during his time with his father. With his teachings and the secret of the shadow clone jutsu made learning anything easy for the blonde, mastering many jutsu in a day. But Naruto also used this method in his studies while having only one copy of a book. Naruto with his clones were reading over 20 different subjects at the same time. His control over his chakra was almost perfect, and chakra level was of a high jonin. Naruto was able to learn every fire jutsu Itachi knew, which was every fire jutsu in the Uchiha vault, and some he made, and from D to mid-B rank water jutsu that they could get their hands on. His taijutsu could still use some work, but that was not Itachi's area of expertise. However, Naruto's genjutsu exploded in growth from no talent whatsoever to being near Itachi's equal in the area. And that was Itachi's area of expertise, the one thing Itachi used in battle more than anything. Though however good Naruto was, he still preferred ninjutsu and taijutsu over genjutsu, but never disregarded its usefulness. In fact, Naruto would often start a fight and end it with genjutsu. Itachi couldn't have been prouder of his son's growth. Naruto's looks only changed a little as he let his hair grow so he could put it into a messy but straight ponytail, as the rest was still a spiky golden mass. He still wore the very same outfit that he left his village, and only now his dark blue jacket was buckled up to help protect him from the damp weather that this land was known for. Swamp, swamp, tree, rock, tree, swamp. Naruto thought out of boredom as he and his father traveled to a bandit camp a few miles out of town. Lesson up, Naruto, we're getting near our objective. Once we reach there, you are to scout out the camp before you destroy it. You are doing this on your own, as you should be more than skilled enough to handle this, Itachi said as a leader ninja then a father. I understand, father, I will not mess up and complete the task at hand, Naruto said as a solider in a monotone voice, just as his father taught him to. Good, now here we go, the mission is now underway. After Itachi said his piece, both of them disappeared. Naruto hid in the shadow of a weeping willow as he watched the bandits go through their daily routine of going through the small deserted town they took as their own. Which to Naruto was boring, just plain boring. It was like watching people from a normal town do nothing. He didn't expect much, but not this. No one was even standing guard around the camp. Maybe they got lazy because of the war. I mean, it's not like they can expect any ninja to come after them. Naruto thought with a sweat drop. Then something happened that grabbed Naruto's undivided attention. A young boy who looked no older than 5 was brought into the camp kicking and screaming. He was a small little boy with white hair and red eyes. His skin was lightly tanned from hours out in the sun, most likely from working through the day. He was wearing a bright blue shirt with green overalls and brown shoes. His arms were tied behind his back to prevent him from escaping. The man who had been holding the kid was a tall, muscular man that looked like he used to be a lumberjack with a big bushy beard. He had a black rain jacket on that was zipped up, with gray cargo pants and black work boots. But what stood out was the claymore on his back. The blade was a little shorter than himself, and was made of gray iron. "Okay, you lot, put this kid in one of the rooms. He is now under our care," said the lumberjack-looking man. No one said anything and just did as told. That confused Naruto a little bit. Why would he say under our care? Bandits don't care how they treat people. But the kid made complicit things. From our intel, they haven't really done anything that bad. They have yet to kill and haven't raped anyone. They have kidnapped people, but they were always returned in no worse condition than before they were taken. They probably got desperate from the lack of jobs and started robbing people. Naruto thought sadly. After a couple of hours the sun started to set, and it was time to make his move. Creeping his way into the camp, looked for the room where they put the kid. As he traveled through the small encamped town, he saw many of the bandits rebuilding the houses, making them suitable for living in. Naruto quirked his eyebrows at seeing them do this but moved on. As he went through the village, he saw bandits doing other odd things, from painting houses to planting flower beds around the houses. Coming up to a small house with a warm glow peering out of the window just above his head, Naruto's has had enough of not knowing what's going on through this village. Peeked into the window. What he saw next shocked him to his core. Dozens of kids and young to old women through the window. All of them were fully clothed and happy, from the smile on their faces. Happy with the right word. Then the lumberjack from earlier walked into the room, and the room got quiet for a second before the kids busted into cheers and the women laughed at the kids. All of a sudden a little girl ran up to the man and jumped, only to be caught and spun around. She was wearing a red dress and had black hair tied into pigtails. Naruto listened closer to what was being said and said, "Daddy, did you have an okay trip?" The chuckled, "Yes, it went well, sweetheart, thank you for asking. I saved a kid today from his oppressed lifestyle." "Really, what happened?" she asked in innocence. "Well, he was working ungodly hours for an adult, and paid next to nothing for it. But that was the only job he could get, so he worked it. I found him, and when I tried to talk to him about his bloodline, he panicked and tried to run, but I was able to get him. But the townspeople showed up and thought I was going to kill him," the man said as the whole rooms listened to him tell the story. "What happened next, father?" "Well, they were every determined to capture, so I ran with him in tow out of the town and lead them to the swamps and lost them," he said with a smile as the children had stars in their eyes. Naruto left after the story came to an end and looked around for the kid he took to see if what he said had any merit. He found the white-haired boy quickly and hinged into an unassuming child. Naruto started running up to him in a childlike fashion. "Hi, are you the boy that was brought here?" The boy turned around to see a small boy in a brown shirt and shorts looking at him with big brown eyes. "Yes, I am. Why do you ask?" "Wow, that's cool. So what's your story, mister?" "Well, I was born with a bloodline limit like you, I imagine. My parents was killed a year ago, and I have had the hunters after me ever since. Then that big guy found me and brought me here. At first I thought he was another thug looking for an easy payday." The odd-haired boy smiled. "Then I come to find out that he brought me to a place filled with bloodline families and that I'm safe here. So that's what is happening around here." Naruto narrowed his eyes. "Something is going on, and I don't like it." All of a sudden a house exploded, tore through the ground, shrapnel flew in the air, hitting the works, embedding deep into their flesh with a spray of blood, as their bodies were tossed like ragdolls by the force of the explosion. The smell of scorched skin filled the air, as some bodies were impaled by large chunks of wood. Out from the smoking wreckage of the house climbed out 6 men, all wearing masks, each different from each other. The only one that stood out clothing-wise was the lead in an ocean blue tank top and gray sweat pants with black shoes. His hair short and brown. It looked like he just got out of bed. "We only got a few of them. I was hoping to get at least a dozen," the man said with sick joy displayed in his voice. Breaking the illusion, Naruto yelled, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Lazily turning his head, the man got a good look at Naruto. "Oh, it's the mercenary we hired to find this little hideout." Reaching behind his back, Naruto got into a protective stance. My, a jumpy one, aren't we?" he said with a small chuckle, and his men following in his humor. Pulling his arm from behind his back, he held up a scroll. "Here is your bounty, you earned it, child." He tossed the scroll in the air. Catching the scroll, Naruto just looked at it. After what seemed like forever, Naruto put the scroll inside his coat and looked at the man in his eyes. Naruto's eyes looked as cold as a pool of ice as he asked, "What are you going to do with them?" "What do you mean?" "We're going to kill them, of course." he said with his head tilted to the side in confusing, and a tone of voice like it was the most known thing in the world. Naruto's face took on a look of horror. What? How could you do that? We can because we can. We'll kill them because it's our job as hunter ninja. The man's voice went from passive to a sickening voice of joy and pleasure. And we'll kill them because it's fun, they're nothing but freaks of nature and don't get to live. Ecstasy filled his voice as stopped talking. Then a large fountain of water shot out from right side of them, taking two of the men, screaming in pain, out of picture. They were dead if their skeleton showing through their muscle and flesh says anything. Walking out from behind the house was the lumberjack with his clamor resting in his hand as it leaned on his shoulder. Well, what do we have here? Boil release. Well, I haven't seen that in a while. The hunter turned to face the man who had killed two of his subordinates. Well, this is a surprise. Nice to see you again, Dargan. It will be once I remove your head from your shoulders. The newly named Dargan said in a calm voice. The hunter removed his mask to show purple eyes and black lipstick and eyeliner. Charming as ever. But can you put your life where your mouth is? We'll see, won't we? Don't you boys move, this one is my fight. Now that I think about it, why don't you move back some? You wouldn't want to get caught in the middle, would you? In response, the last of the men scattered. They stood their ground staring at each other, trying to intimidate the other. Then they sprang into action. Dragon jumped and swung his sword at the hunter, only for him to dive to side and throw a couple of shuriken just to come up empty-handed when Dargan pulled his sword out of the ground to use as a shield. Using Dargan's shield as a blind, the mist hunter snuck around with kunai in hand and jabbed it into Dargan's kidney, only for it to turn into water, showing the usefulness of water clones. Dargan puffed into existence behind the hunter, kicking his back with a heavy blow that sent him flying. Not wasting a step, Dargan grabbed his sword, ripping it from the ground. Jumping into the air, Dargan threw his claymore at the hunter ninja like a javelin. To his surprise, the nin turned and grabbed the handle mid-flight, turning around from the momentum to impale him through the stomach. Blood spilled from Dargan's body, going all over the ground and the hunter nin's arm. With an insane grin on his face, the purple-eyed man shoved the sword up in the air, driving it deeper into the poor man's body and out the other side. Then turned the blade downward into the ground, nailing the lumberjack of a man to the spot. I have to say that was fun, thanks for that, he said, licking Dargan's blood off his arm, then stopped and looked at his victim. Oh, I'm sorry, did you want some? Leaning in closer with a smirk on his face, Dargan's hand shot up, grabbing the man's neck and squeezed with a vice grip with all his might. The nin thrashed around trying to get free to no avail, so out of desperation he took out a kunai and stabbed the breaded man's wrist, getting his freedom. You bastard, I'll kill you! Just as the hunter for the mist was about to give the last blow, he sees something yellow and blue out of the corner of his eye. Acting out of reflex, he put his arms for defense, but it was for nothing, as from the blow itself was more than his quick defense could handle, and went flying into an empty house. He busted through the wall like if it was made of paper, and with a dust cloud and splinters went up. Naruto looked down at the would-be hero and gave a small smile. Sorry about to barge in on your fight, but I can't let you die. Naruto looked over at the mist nin, who was pulling himself out of the chunks of wood. Don't worry, old man, I'll take it from here, you just worry about yourself, Naruto said with an impassive look and ice-cold blue eyes as he stared at the enemies. When the hunter nin got out, he was seeing red. First the freak tries to strangle me to death, and now this brat has the balls to challenge me. Getting up and pointing at our blonde hero. Get him, I want that blonde dead. The one that do it will get all the money on him. Without a single word, the three henchmen nin attacked, one with twin scythes, another with a machete, and the last had a long sword. Quickly drawing his sword, Naruto met them head on, parrying and blocking their strikes. No matter how hard they pressed, they couldn't get past Naruto's defense, until as one swung a slash with his long sword to be blocked, that the one with the scythes got him in his spine. Then a puff of smoke revealed it was a piece of lumber. The two men's eyes widened as a blade slid in between the ribs of scythe guy, with blood spewing from the wound, as long sword-wielded man head was separated from his shoulders with a large spray of blood. When the two bodies hit the ground, Naruto found two shuriken lugged in his throat. As the hunter nin was about to do his happy dance, they both dissolved into water, as if felt a lot of pain in the back of his head before he was airborne. He flipped in the air before following the pattern on the ground, skipping like a rock on the water. Dargan kept watching, couldn't believe his eyes. A child had not only killed without filching, and doing so without breaking a sweat. Naruto stood there waiting for one of the two to make his move. Then both broke into action. The makeup-wearing nin worked his way through hand sign as the other threw a handful of shuriken at Naruto as he ran forward. The blonde jumped over the flying stars of death, had made the tiger sign to his lips, and used fire-style grand fireball jutsu. A giant fireball easily 3 times the man's size came rushing at him. With no time to dodge, he was burned to death, leaving nothing but ash. Just then the leader of the now deceased mist ninja finished the last hand sign. Illusion Art Shark Hunting Ground. The ground around Naruto became flooded, quickly overtaking area. Naruto opened his eyes to see he was surrounded by 5 giant great white sharks circulating around him. On the outside, the hunter ninja smirked, seeing his genjutsu worked as Naruto's head fall down like a drunk. Slowly walking over to the boy, he pulled out his last kunai to stop in front of the blonde's body. Well, I have to say, kid, you would have made one hell of a mist ninja. If you only would have picked the right sided. Without delay, he plugged the knife handle deep into the blonde hair, and blood came out of the wound. As Naruto's body started to fall, it slowed down to the point it just hung there in the air. Even the droplets were frozen in time. The blood vanished in the air soon after Naruto's body busted into a flock of crows. A thin line appeared on the man's face as the pain flashed and blood trickled down his cheek. "Did you really think you would get me with a sad genjutsu like that?" whispered Naruto in his ear in a monotone voice. He found himself surrounded by 4 blondes, all with an impassive face and cold blue eyes staring at him, jumping in a twist as he threw 4 shuriken dead center of their chest. Only they stopped midair and broke apart into crows as well. Now 8 stood around him, all with the same look, and another cut appeared on his face. Panicking, he unsealed a short sword, tried to cut a path through them, only to get 16 and another shallow cut, this time on his arm. This went on for over an hour of fear and slicing through the blondes, only for more to appear and for him to get another cut. Soon a sea of blondes kids stood waiting, watching, and taunting the man with their mere presence. Falling to his knees, the hunter ninja couldn't take the pain anymore. Small, shallow cuts were all over his body, his skin stained with his blood. What are you?" the purple-eyed man asked in a pained voice. "I'm a son to a bloodline clan that I didn't use to defeat you," Naruto said as the man passed out from the pain. Breaking the genjutsu, the sea of clones faded into nothingness, as did the cuts on the man's body. "What just happened?" The hunter ninja called out a jutsu. Then 3 seconds later he on the ground passed out. Asked Dargan, still in pain and nailed to the ground. "Simple. He wanted to test genjutsu and lost." Naruto turned to the impaled man and smiled the biggest fox smile. "Now let's get you fixed up." After an hour over get Dargan fixed up and the bombardment of thank you from every person in the village, Itachi decided to revile himself. Naruto report what happened. After telling his father the mission from start to finish, Itachi's face showed a look disappointment. "So not only did you stay far after the mission was done, you stayed and got involved in something that has nothing to do with us. Am I to understand that right, Naruto?" "Yes, father, and I'm not going to regret doing what I did. I saved this people because it was the right thing to do," Naruto said with a heated passion. "And if I was to order you to kill each and every one of these people, starting with the kids?" Itachi said in a dangerous warning tone. "I wouldn't do that, and I would even fight you to protect them." Naruto screamed at his father on the verge of tears. The thought of killing the one person who loved and took care of him all this time. Then Naruto felt something on top of his head slowly rubbing it. Looking up to see Itachi's hand patting his head. "I'm so proud of you, son. Doing what's right no matter the cost, even going against me to do it." Itachi had on his largest smile. Happiness and pride in his son shone through. "That's my son Naruto." End of flashback jutsu. Naruto was broken from his memory as the instructors opened the doors to allow the students in the building. They shuffled in to learn how to kill the fellow man. Well, they didn't think of it that way, but whatever. "Time to see who is in my class." Naruto started his new school year with a strong step. Flashback. As Naruto walked the halls, he memorized the layout of the building for future use. Then he came to his distension. "So this is it?" Pulling out a piece of paper from his pants pocket. "Yup, this is it, room 102 with Irika." Putting chakra into his ears to increase his hearing, he could hear the students making idle chatting as they waited for their teacher. Inside the class, the room was filled with students learning to become ninja, talking to their friends in small groups. A tan man walked into the room with a scar going across his nose. He had brown hair pulled into a spiky ponytail. He wore green military vest, showing his rack of chunin over his blue long-sleeved shirt. He listened in on the students' banter one group at a time to see if they knew anything about the new student joining their class. So far, nothing more than the everyday stuff. That is until he got to Ino Yamanaka with her hair in a ponytail today, as to the norm. She was talking to a group of girls with her well-known rival Sakura Haruno. Sakura was a little shorter than Ino, with long pink hair and a beautiful shade of green eyes. She wore a red battle dress with black shorts underneath. "Man, I was so scared. There were 6 guys surrounding, wanting me to do things with them. I thought I was going to get gang raped." "So what happened then, Ino?" one of the girls asked. "Well, just when they were about to pounce, a guy around our age came out of nowhere, kicked them all away like they were nothing. I didn't even see him until he stopped moving." "Wow, he must be really fast then." "Is he a ninja?" another asked. "Not officially. He was being trained outside of the village for 3 years, but come back for graduation next year," Ino said. "What does he look like?" asked Sakura this time. "He's a little taller than me, with blonde hair and has bright blue eyes, but what stuck out the most was the whiskers makers on his cheek," she said with a finger on her chin as she recalled the boy's looks. "What whiskers? Did he draw the on?" the pink-haired girl asked. "I don't think so," she said as she shakes her head. "They seemed more like birthmarks. I wonder if he's from a clan? That would make sense. I mean, look at the Inuzuka clan with the K9 teeth, or Hyuga with their eyes," a random girl said. "What is his name, Ino?" Sakura asked with a raised eyebrow. "I don't remember, the whole thing happened so fast." Ino sank into her arms and pouted. Irika knew that was all the information he was going to get out of his students. "All right, clam down everyone, I have important information for you all." The students went dead silence at this. "Okay, that was fast. Maybe we should get new students more often." Irika's sweat dropped. Anyways, we have a new student joining us today. Please show respect and good manners. This is his first time ever stepping foot into a classroom and we don't want to leave a bad inspiration. Naruto took this as his time to knock on the door. Oh, that must be him now. Every eye in the room shifted to the door. Please come in and introduce yourself to your classmates. After he said, the door slowly opened and a blonde-haired boy walked in. Eyes bulged at seeing what he was wearing. Naruto wore a black male tank top with a red Uzumaki spiral that showed his very toned muscle that wasn't too bulky as to get in the way. It was something he gained in his years of training. The shirt was over a steel fishnet shirt to help his overall protection. His black cargo pants had a sliver chain buckled to the first hoop of his pants to the third. The black ninja sandals he wore had his pants tucked into it and wrapped around his ankles in white bandages. He didn't want his jacket as it may let out to who he was. His blonde hair was wild and untamed in the front, expect two strained bangs framing his face perfectly. His whisker marks gave him a feral look that made many girls blush. His brilliant blue eyes were soft and warm but had a look that demanded respect, adding to the blush of the girls already had. Hello, my name is Naruto, and I'll be in your class until we graduate. His said with a foxy smile and wave showing his bandaged hand. Sakura saw his hand with her curiosity get the better of her, asked. Why is your hand bandaged? Did you hurt it or something? Or something? I really don't like tell people about it if I don't know them well. Anyways, I hope we can get along. Naruto said with a large grin. So what were you doing all this time? An unimportant boy asked. Naruto closed his eyes as if thinking about how to answer. Slowly opening his eyes, Naruto's mouth pulled upward into a confident smirk. I have been training to be a strong ninja to protect the people who matters more to me than my own life. Everyone was so quiet a pin dropping could be heard from down the hall. What is this really, the QB brat? Iruka thought, eyes as large as dinner plates. A small smile came to his face as Iruka closed his eyes. Maybe I was wrong after all. He has a good spirit and strong heart. This is the boy who saved me / Ino, were the thought of Ino and Sakura both with small blushes. Alright then, Naruto, you may choose any open set for the day. I'll assign you a permanent set tomorrow. Oh, and I'll be asking you a lot of questions today to see how far you are in your studies. Naruto just nodded his head as he started walking up the rows trying to find a set when a flash of blonde caught his eye. With a quick double take, Naruto stopped mid-stride, blue eyes meeting together. With a quick turn, Naruto looked at the platinum blonde girl. I know you. Flexing the muscle in his legs, Naruto gave what looked like a weak hop that shouldn't even get an inch off the ground, only to appear a foot higher than the desk and onto it, in front of Ino in a crouching position, their faces only inches away from each other. You're Ino, right? How are you doing? Sporting a deep scarlet face blush, that would be challenge to even Hinata. I'm fine, thank you. That's good, make sure you take care of yourself, okay, Ino-chan. A fox-like grin spread across his face. After getting a nod from Ino, Naruto simply walked off the desk to the back of the room and grabbed an empty set at a desk by himself. Iruka started his lesson for the day as soon as Naruto's ass hit the chair. Over 3 hours of mind-numbing lectures and answering questions by Naruto later, it was time for lunch, much to Naruto's happiness. As the students started to try to get through the door, Naruto just opened a window next to his desk and jumped out of it into the courtyard, much to his teacher's displeasure. He walked around the small training ground of the academy to find a large tree in a small meadow, its leaves shadow from the hot afternoon sun, perfect for taking a nap. As Naruto lays down under the shifting leaves with a light and soft breeze passing through, the sky above was clear and seemed the brightest blue the sky could ever give. Such a nice day, I don't get many days like this. The blonde Uchiha thought. I wonder what Q-chan is doing. It's nice to know you think about me, Naruto-kun. Makes a girl want to blush. The QB said sarcastically in Naruto's mind. Q-chan? Hey, you're talking to me again. Naruto couldn't stop the small smile on his face. It turned into a frown as he asked. Are you still mad at me? It's been over 2 weeks? I don't care. What you did was stupid. I'm sorry, I didn't think it would turn out like that. A foxy grin spread across Naruto's face. If you forgave me, I'll do that special thing you like so much later tonight. Naruto could feel the blush coming from the QB. That's mean, Naruto-kun. You can't use that against me, so you don't want it? Naruto teased, knowing it would drive her mad. Naruto, you're so mean. You can't do this to me. The fox demon said in the cutest way she could. Well, I guess since you don't want it or forgive me, I'll just go and find something to do tonight. If I forgive you, will you really do it for me? She said shyly. Naruto smirked in victory. Yes, I will. If you forgive me now, I might throw in something a little extra. Okay, I forgive you, Naruto-kun. Naruto could feel the heat coming from his vixen in waves. You better have not said that just to get out of trouble, Naruto, or I'll be 3 times as mad. I wouldn't think about it, Q-chan, said a now slightly nervous Naruto. Hey, your name's Naruto, right? Said a lazy-sounding voice from behind. Get this right and you get a cookie. Yes, it is, and you are. Naruto said as he turned to see a boy around his age with a bored expression on his face. He looked to be a little shorter than himself, his hair pulled back into a short, spiky pineapple-like tail. His brown eyes looked calculating as he stared at Naruto. He is wearing a light gray jacket with a binge outline and fishnet undershirt. Dark brown pants with bandage wrapped around his right leg with his shrunken pouch over top of it, and navy blue sandals. Shikamaru Nara, nice to meet you. he said, unmoving and motived. Hey Shika, so this is where you took off to? Should have known it's the shadiest place at the academy, said a F.A. death glare from the boy, a plump young man in a dark green waist-length coat with a tan shirt and brown shorts. Bandages wrapped around his legs and arms showed. Red swirls present on his cheeks. And he was eating a large bag of chips. That's Choji Akimichi. I'm sure he's happy to meet you as well, muttered the bored Naruto as the Akimichi nodded. Nice to meet you both, Naruto said with a smile. Can we set with you? Asked Choji. Sure, I don't see why not, it's not like I own it. Naruto shrugged, giving his response. Taking a set, the three sat in silence, enjoying the afternoon sun. The peace was a nice change for the blonde. All the fighting and blood had been all his known for 3 years. This place was peaceful and so calming. Naruto's eyes started to close, slowly drifting to sleep. I may like it here after all, he thought as sleep overcame him. 3 months later. School for him was slow. Everything Iruka was teaching was just review for our hero. Naruto became the top student, getting A's on everything they did. Slowly a fan club formed for the blonde. Although small, they made themselves known. Naruto, Shikamaru, and Choji became friends over the days. Came to find out Naruto and Shikamaru are equal in shogi. Well, at least Naruto thought so. Shikamaru was sure the blonde was holding back. As it stood, the score was Naruto 3 wins, Shikamaru 3 wins, and 250 ties. Ino has been getting closer to Naruto to be on friendly terms, but not really friends, as she's still a Sasuke fangirl with no real feeling for her fellow blonde. Ha ha ha, man, is she in denial. Man, Naruto, you need to stop holding back, said the annoyed Nara. Jesse Shika, I keep telling you I'm not, said a grumpy Naruto. Why won't you believe I'm taxed as it is? Because you're not even looking at the fucking board and still tied with me, the almost always clam-gifted young man shouted, causing everyone in the schoolyard to look at them. Naruto pulled down his book that his face was in until now to look at his friend with a quirked eyebrow. Looking down at the board, Naruto's face took a look of amazement. I thought we stopped playing some time ago. Shikamaru's eyebrow twitched as a tick mark appeared on his head. He was playing me to a standstill without knowing he was playing the game. What the hell is with this guy? Naruto looked at the board for a second before moving a piece. Checkmate, was all he said before going back to book, looking over the board looking for any way out but couldn't find any. Damn it, the shadow user said, then laid down, closing his eyes. Hey Shikamaru, grunt from said boy, do you think you'll ever really beat Naruto? Asked our hefty friend. If Naruto was to try, I don't think I would even stand a chance. Mama, you're thinking too highly of my ability, Shika, and underestimating yourself, said the bored blonde. In any case, we better get to class, guys, said the Akimichi as he opened a bag of chips. As they took off to class, a pair of onyx eyes looked through the bushes. Standing up, we see a boy with dark hair in the shape of a duck's ass come out. He was wearing a dark blue shirt with a high collar and tan shorts with white armbands. His shirt had the Uchiha fan on the back, showing him to be Sasuke Uchiha, the second highest student in the academy, and class heartthrob with Naruto, only second by a few girls. How strong are you really, Naruto? The boy thought to himself. And who in the world are you? After the class got assembled, most of the class talked to each other except Sasuke, who was trying to find out who Naruto was, Shikamaru, who slept with Choji eating beside him, and Naruto, who had his legs up on his disc thinking about a new jutsu he wanted to try out. Okay class, clam down, we got important stuff to go over. The class seemed to get even louder, pissing Iruka off. Shut the hell up, you brats, he yelled at the top of his voice with his famous demon enlarged head jutsu. As I was saying, in a few months we'll have full contact, sparing next month, as to get back into the grove of fight has it's put off for half a year in order to help perfect your styles of fighting on your own. This got the student exited to prove themselves, and to see what the new blonde kid could really do. Well, that all on that matter. Now we'll be going over the theory of Nin, Gen, and Taijutsu for the rest of today, followed by a test on what we learned about politics outside of the village. 1 month later, on the sparring ground, Naruto watched as many of the no-name student fought. He could say for academy students they were good and had potential but would get splattered on any field mission above C-ranked, but that's what Jonin Sanseis are for. He couldn't get a good read off of Shikamaru and Choji because they got paired and both quit, not wanting to fight their friend. But Naruto knew that Shika would be able to think his way out of most problems, and if Choji was on his team it'd be even easier due to the Akimichi fighting style. Ino and Sakura were above the other students but would die like them if they didn't have good backup. A boy in a tan high-collar coat with spiky brown hair and black shads fight poorly. However, if Naruto was right, he was an Aburame, so without the use of his chakra eating bugs his style was pointless to begin with. The fertile Inuzuka in a grey jacket with fur lining, he had enlarged canine teeth with red fang marks on his cheeks. His dog Akamaru was a white half-wolf pup with spots on his ears that stood off to the side. He was probably one of the best taijutsu user he had seen so far, most likely because his family fighting mostly with fists to begin with. Hinata Hyuga, there was something that caught his eye. The girl was beautiful in her own right. Her perfectly heart-shaped face and lavender hair was a winning combo on their own. Her eyes didn't seem to have a pupil if you didn't look close enough. Her larger baggy coat made it hard to tell her cup size, he put it low to mid-Ds. Anyways, forgetting the pervert, and on to her fighting style. Thought the blushing blonde. Hey, what did you think at me? You heard me, you pervert, arrow rider. Shut up, or I'll turn this in a boy-on-boy story with you and Sasuke as lovers. I'll be good. Thought a defeated blonde. The girl was far more skilled than she let on. Is she misleading people, or is it because of low self-esteem? Seeing the girl's sad look on her face, he believed the second thought was the correct one. Naruto Uzumaki vs Sasuke Uchiha Iruka yelled, snapping Naruto out of his thoughts. As the two warriors made their way to ring, hushed whispers rang thought out the ninja in training. In the audiences, who do you think will win? My money is on Sasuke, he is the strongest out of our class. Said one nameless student to another said student. I think the new kid will win as strong as Sasuke is. We don't know how strong this Naruto guy is. You're crazy, no can beat Sasuke-kun. Says a fangirl with several other nodding in agreement with her. Don't count him out yet, we know next to nothing about him. He's a wild card in this whole deck. The gifted Nara said. Shut up, Shikamaru, you're just a lazy bum so no one cares what you say. A devoted fangirl said with passion. That doesn't change the fact that Shikamaru right, he's a wild card. Anything could happen with this fight. Thought a pale boy with black hair and eye in a black long-sleeved shirt with the right arm cut off. He wearing black pants and sandals with bandages wrapped around his left leg. He is known as an agent of Danzo, with the fighters. Once the young ninja got into the arena, they stared into each other's eye in a battle of wills. Well, at least he knows the importance of controlling his enemy mentally. An arrogant smirk spread across Sasuke's face as he said, just give up now and save yourself from looking like the baka you are, or not. Naruto thought with a sweat drop. Tempting, but I'll pass, see how you won't even land a hit on me. Sasuke got pissed instantly. Alright, you two get ready. Sasuke shifted into interceptor fist. Get set, Naruto yet to move from his lazy standing position he had in the first place, doing his best to copy a statue. Go! Iruka said as he jumped out of the way. As soon as Iruka was out of the way, Sasuke charged, determined to show our blonde not to mess with an Uchiha. LOL the fool. Running at speeds the other students had a hard time keeping up with, running at blonde Uchiha with his fist cocked back ready to cause damage. But to Naruto he was painfully slow. Just as Sasuke's fist about to make contact, it was stopped by Naruto's open palm. Sasuke then felt a massive amount of pain in his stomach as he was sent airborne from a palm strike from Naruto. Forcing away the pain for now, Sasuke flipped in the air, landing just a few inches from the boundary. What the hell was that? Sasuke wondered. Doesn't matter, he won't get me this time. Sasuke ran as fast as his legs would carry him, then jumping into a flying kick aimed at the blonde's ribcage that Naruto caught with one hand. Sasuke then jerked his body to send another at Naruto's head, so our hero let go of Sasuke's leg and crouched down, sending the kick over his head. Adjusting his leg, Sasuke landed on it, and used his body's momentum for a spin kick, only for it to be caught like if it was just hanging there. Not giving a second to breath, Naruto pushed Sasuke's standing leg, giving the raven-haired Uchiha a Charlie horse, but that was not the end of his pain. Standing as soon as pushed the leg, making it buckle, with a tight grip, lifted Sasuke of the ground to slam him back into it, making spiderweb creaks. Before Sasuke could slip into unconsciousness, Naruto kicked him in his chest, making him fly across the field into a tree, making said tree nearly give way under that amount of force. W winner by SKIC, I mean knockout Naruto Uzumaki. Said a god smacked Iruka, with the students. W what the hell just happened? Asked Sakura. Naruto just kicked the shit out of Sasuke. A male student said, scared of the blonde boy. That's not the only thing. Said Shikamaru, looking at the whiskered boy. What do you mean, Shika? Choji asked, for once not eating anything, being too shocked to think about food. What I mean is Naruto didn't move from his spot, not once. That made everyone deathly quiet. Gradation day. The whole year went by with Naruto at the head of the class and Sasuke close second. No one wanted to fight the blonde for fear of getting hurt but Sasuke, who seen Naruto as an obstacle to overcome so he could bring honor to the Uchiha name. But he always got his ass handed to him. Sasuke was still the favored one out of the two from the female population, but either really cared. Naruto, Shikamaru, and Choji became closer in their friendship and trained together every now and again. They even managed to get Hinata into their little gang, slowly bring her confidence to new highs. Is she still a shy girl? Yes, but she started to show real promise that even her father stopped belittling her. Naruto showed them how to do the Shadow Shuriken jutsu that made solid copies for a short time. Everyone was waiting for Iruka to come in and give the last test to see if they were ready to be ninja. Everybody was fully of confidence but Naruto's gang. They were watching Naruto and Shikamaru play another game of shogi, Naruto making Shikamaru rethink his strategies 3 times now. Okay class, time for testing. I'll call your names one by one to see if you're ready to be ninja. As you know, Hokage-sama has sent a Jonin to help with the test as Mizuki was caught trying to alter test scores a month ago, and is now away for 30 years getting a daily colonoscopy. Hate that guy, and I don't want to do the whole forbidden scroll thing. Flashback. Iruka handed out the writing and all got to work on the papers in front of them. Naruto's eyes scanned the room as he wrote down answers. Shika, we most likely only do enough to pass. God, is he lazy? Choji will second-guess himself and get most of them wrong due to his poor self-esteem. Poor guy. He should make it through. Shifting his eye, they land on the 2 top Sasuke fangirls. Ino should pass above average, but it should be higher. I really wish she'd take being a ninja more seriously. I hope that will change soon. Sakura will most likely have the second highest score next to me. After all, she is a bookworm. Naruto shifted his eye over to Kiba, Shino and Sai. Kiba will pass Barley. Shino should score pretty high, he's almost a genius. And then there's Sai, whom I can't get a reading off of. What is he playing at? I can tell he shouldn't be in the academe because he's holding back. Is he trying to give himself an edge out on the field by making people underestimating him? Shifting his eyes to the last two students of interest, the young Uchiha and Hyuga. Hinata should do just fine thanks to her boost in confidence. Then there's Sasuke, number 3 in this test, easy. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Must beat him, I must beat him. Sasuke thought as he scribbled down answers, most likely thinking about how great he is. 1 hour and 20 minutes later, after the writing test came the physical test. The name of the game: last as long as you could against your Chunin teacher. Most of the students lasted around 3 minutes, Shika included, because that was the all you needed to pass. Lazy SOB Naruto thought with good humor. Choji lasted 3 minutes and 45 seconds, mostly because he didn't want to accidentally hurt Irika. Shino lasted just over 3 minutes with his poor taijutsu. Ino and Sakura didn't fare much better than the Abirame. Kiba lasted around 4 minutes and 30 seconds, no real shock there. Sai made it so he lasted 4 minutes flat. Hinata lasted as long as Sai did but with more grace. Sasuke lasted 5 minutes and 30 seconds with impressive skill and stamina, well for an academe student anyways. Naruto played with Irika for 6 minutes and 45 seconds before he took a dive, and everyone knew, but the Jonin and Sasuke's pride. He did as well, not that anyone said anything with the Jonin there. Now they were at the last test, the ninjutsu portion of the graduation test, and no surprise that everyone so far passed. Naruto walked up to Irika and the Jonin that was behind desk. Okay Naruto, you just need to use transformation jutsu, substitution with something, and use the simple clone jutsu. Maybe I should have some fun with this, Naruto thought with a smile. In a plume of smoke, Naruto transformed into the Jonin and looked around. Impressive, Naruto, now substitute with something. The Jonin beside Irika smiled at Irika. I already did, Irika-sensei. A puff of smoke later, Naruto Fox grin was in full blast. Irika had turned so fast you would have thought his neck broke. Well okay then Naruto, now make at least 3 working clones before I substitute you with a corpse. Irika said with a tick mark at Naruto antics. Replacing himself with the poor Jonin, Naruto stood where they at the start. Naruto, without movement or saying a word, created 20 perfect illusionary clones. Throwing his voice so it appeared to come from everywhere, Naruto asked. Well, do I pass, Irika-sensei? Hey you pass, you little show-off. Irika said with a warm smile. Irika didn't know when, but at some point Naruto managed to worm his way into a special place in his heart. Naruto went from the QB brat to his favorite student, and now his little brother. Okay Naruto, I got something for you. My headband? Yes, but I went and got a special order for you to match your style of clothing. Irika walked from behind his desk to in front of Naruto, and handed him a headband that was scuffed, and had nicks in it. It looked like it'd been in many battles. It was on a black cloth and engraved with an arrow-like leaf cravings into a spiral like the Uzumaki clan crest. Naruto took into his hands. His finger ran over the headband. That was my headband, and now it's yours. Thank you, Irika-sensei, I will always keep it close to me. Naruto said in his most respectful voice and bowed. Okay, will you go out and show in the class one of the newest ninjas to the Leaf Village? In the classroom when Naruto is taking his test, many kids talk to one another about how they were so excited about being a ninja and wonder who is going to be on their team. Up in high corner of the room you see Naruto's small group of friends talking amongst themselves. So Shikamaru, who do you think will be on teams? Asked our potato chip loving friend. Choji, why are you asking such a troublesome question? The lazy Nara replied. Oh come on Shikamaru, you think that way about everything. And besides, you're the only one out of us who could get it as close as possible with the team placement. What about Naruto? Why can't you ask him? Simple, he's not here right now. A tick mark appeared on the genus Naruto's head. So I'm just the fallback guy when Naruto isn't around. Whatever, it doesn't matter at this point, but I will say this. I have no idea what they're going to do with Naruto. What do you mean, Shikamaru? The Hyuga princess asked. I mean Naruto is stronger than any of us, and the most well-rounded ninja out of anyone in our class. He could be paired with any team a person could imagine. Man, I didn't even think about that. We could never see Naruto again. The sad Akimichi said with a downcast look, and Hinata following his lead. Don't be stupid. We'll see him again, after all we're all ninja in the same village. We're bound to cross paths again, said Shikamaru with a surprising amount of passion in his voice, and the same hard determined look that Naruto would give in order to lift their spirits. Seeing the look in Shikamaru's eyes that reminded them of their unofficial leader, and made Choji and Hinata smile. I think you've been hanging around Naruto too long because you look just like him, said Choji with a smile across his face. Shikamaru blinked with a blank look on his face. Then slowly a small smile broke as he began to chuckle. I think you're right, Choji. The Dane troublesome blonde has infected me. It was Choji and Hinata's turn to laugh until they all broke out into uncontrollable laughter. What you guys laughing at? Asked the newly minted blonde ninja. Oh, nothing, Naruto-kun. The quiet voice of Hinata rang out with joy. Okay if you say so. So it looks like we all became ninja after all. Like you could be ninja. You most likely stole your headband, you troublesome blonde. Shikamaru sarcastically replied. Did you say some shika? Naruto said as he looked up from his book. Where did that book even come from? Shikamaru screamed. What are you talking about? Came Naruto's monotone voice, making him sound bored. I had it on me the whole time. You just need to pay closer attention to things. You're doing this to mess with me, aren't you? A bright smile came across Naruto's face. Yup, was Naruto's simple happy chirp. I hate you, you love me, you're too troublesome, I keep you on your toes. Everyone around them in earshot was trying their hardest not to laugh and failing until they busted into hysterical laughter. After all, only Naruto could get a real reaction from Shikamaru and get him flustered. Iruka walked into the room and saw every person around Naruto dying from laughter and couldn't help the smirk from forming on his face. Okay everyone, that clammed down. I don't know what Naruto did, insert a complaint from Naruto, but you need to know you have come back here for team placement in 2 days. See you then. Iruka waved and out like a hurricane the class went. After the students left, Iruka started to work on making the teams, but after counting them up he makes a troubling discovery. There one more student than needed to make even teams. Putting down his pen, Iruka took a deep breath. What am I going to do? Is something troubling you, Iruka? Quickly standing, Iruka gave a deep bow. Hokage-sama, standing back up, what are you doing here? I'm here to see how the team placement is going. The aged Kage said. Not good, Hokage-sama. Oh, having trouble coming up with teams, are you? He said as he took out his corn pipe and started to light it. No, that's not it, Hokage-sama. I have most of them done, but we have a spare student that I don't know what to do with. After breathing out a puff of smoke, he spoke. Let me see what you have so far. Taking a set, Iruka give him the list. As the old Kage shifted through the list and writing some stuff down, the Hokage handed the papers back. They're all done. Now you are to present this to your class tomorrow as it is, and that's an order. After he finished, Sarutobi disappeared in a small whirlwind of leaves, leaving a confused Iruka with Naruto. After saying goodbye to his friends, he went off to train in order to keep his skills sharp as always. Soon his 6 hours were spent, and he headed home. Naruto opened the door to his apartment, and found it perfectly clean just like he left it, and he smiled at that. It was nice to come back to a place he could call home after 3 years never staying in one place for more than a week. And the year of coming back to one place was a more than welcome change. Closing his door, Naruto started on his dinner, and had some shadow clones write some jutsu ideas he had. Even the 4 months in Sanaa didn't give many wind types jutsu, so coming up with his own would be nice and a must. But the problem is he can't get them as strong as he needed them. I need to find a teacher who knows more about wind chakra. After dinner and a quick shower, thought he would visit his favorite fox, so he meditated in the middle of his living room. Feeling a familiar pull, Naruto opened up his eyes to see the dark fox caged and walked through. As soon as Naruto's head passed through the cage, it transformed into a large house. Oak wooden floors were throughout the house, red painted walls with some pictures hung on them. A large fireplace sat at one corner of the room that never went out, with white couches and chairs around it, making it the living room. Walking through the house to find his little fox, Naruto passed a fully stocked kitchen and went straight to the many bedrooms the house held. Naruto changed this part of his mind, formed the Kyuubi, but she designed it. Checking room after room, Naruto started to become nervous. I hope she's not in that one. Hope Naruto, but at same time hoping she was. And as luck would, depending on how you see it, his vixen was sitting on a bed in the very middle of the room, and was exposed with only a black lacy bra that was barely holding her bust and panties that helped to show her perfectly shaped hips and long legs. Her long, smooth crimson hair went halfway down her back to show off her toned stomach. Around her neck was a black collar with a blue circle with CO writing in the middle of it. After taking off the handcuffs, the two laid into each other's arms as they snuggled closer together. I love you, Naruto-kun, said a sleepy Kyuubi as she yawned. I love you too, Kyu-chan. Naruto didn't know how long they sat there in each other's embrace, the scent of sex in the air. He still couldn't believe that she loved him so, and still couldn't figure out how or when it happened. But that was a thought for another day. Naruto sat up on the bed, waking the half-asleep redhead beside him. Where are you going, Naruto-kun? Asked the groggy demon. I'm sorry, Kyu-chan, but I have to go, Naruto said as he pulled her in to kiss. Not a lust-filled one like he did when they began, but filled with loving, tender kiss. It was soft, sweet, and poured every bit of love he could muster. I'll talk to you later, okay? Okay, Naruto-kun, talk to you later. Bye, I love you, he exclaimed as he faded out. Real world. Naruto awake to a stiff body, but the some starches unlock all the muscles. After taking a shower to clean up the mess again, Naruto climbed into bed. It's really annoying that happens out here, but there's no one to clean it up. With a huff, Naruto drifted off to sleep. The next 2 days would be spent on training and his, for now, one girlfriend. 2 days later, at the academy, the students were all in their homeroom waiting to find out who would be on their team. While everyone was talking, Now was in the back paying close attention to his desk as he snored. Hey, should we walk him up? Asked one student to another. He totally, not every day someone gets the drop on Uzumaki, said the other, and it not today either. said Naruto in an evil manner, scaring the hell out of the two boys. Okay class, that's enough of that as we have important things to go through. Iruka exclaimed. First I want to. He went on about what it means to be ninja now and that they're adults, and to show the village pride in a very long-winded speech. Okay, now to the teams, skipping the 1 to 6 because they suck. Team 7 will be Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno. Yes, take that Ino pig. Riot Tensai, your team leader Kakashi Hatake. Team 8 will be Kiba Inuzuka, Hinata Hyuga, and Cheyenne Aburame with Kurenai. Team 9 is still active, so Team 10 will be Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi, lead by Asuma. The kids started to talk thinking that was everyone until Iruka started talking again. And the newly made Team Squid number, Team 0, is made of Naruto Uzumaki, and that's it? Well, I guess it is good luck to you all. Iruka had a really big sweat drop. The class was like a beehive with the one-man team now in circulation, and because of it Naruto fangirls' popularity skyrocketed, so the poor blonde Uchiha did the only thing he could. He whimpered. Flashback. Naruto woke up to the sounds of leaves swaying in the wind and the sun beating down on his face. Naruto's eyes peered open and looked around with his blurry vision to make out the fuzz surrounding of green everywhere he looked. As his vision cleared, he made out branches and the ocean of leaves that gave Konohagakure its name. Looking down, he was at least 15 feet in the air, setting upright. His clothes were ripped and torn in varying places, but that was normal for the blonde thanks to his training. Tailors make a lot of money off of Naruto. How did I get up here? Thought the confused blonde. I remember leaving the academy, and oh that's right, I remember now. Flashback. Naruto just left the academy after team announcements, and was on his way to get ramen for lunch as is his custom. Naruto, for all his skills, didn't notice the slowly growing crowd in the dark shadowing their faces. There his is on his way to get ramen again, said one of the shadowy figures in a hushed whisper that couldn't be heard except by the group. Another's eye gleamed. Let's get him as he eats his ramen. He'll let his guard down then, and we'll be able to get him. The other nodded, and slowly they disappeared into the shadows. As Naruto walked, a cold chill ran down his spine. Shaking it off, Naruto continued to follow his stomach to Ichiraku's ramen. After getting to Ichiraku's, Naruto quickly inhaled 8 bowls of ramen when a small army of kunoichi appear around corners and rooftop and the middle of the street. Naruto's danger sense kicked in as the females' lust poured from their teenage bodies. Turning over so slowly, Naruto's eyes landed upon the army of hormone-driving fangirls. Swallowing the lump in his throat, Naruto started to sweat profusely. What did I do now? The kunoichi's eyes shadow over as an evil smile spread across any of their faces. Oh god, what the hell did I do now? Naruto tensed as he sweated bullets at this point. So Naruto did the only thing a guy fearing for his life from women could do. He ran as fast as he could. Naruto-kun, come back here and give me your child. One of the fangirls screamed as she ran after the blonde, with the others hot on her heels saying similar things. And they were closing in fast. God, why did I choose today of all days to increase my weights? Naruto yelled at the top of his lungs, hoping to get an answer from some deity, only to get the excited squeals from his fan club. Oh gods, Naruto-kun so strong to outrun us with new weights. Please give me your child, Foxy Kun. One of the girls looked confused as she asked. How would a few weights change anything? The older members, note age as in how long they've been fangirls, not their real age, got a smug look on their faces. Well, as long as we have known Foxy-kun, he never did the easy way of anything and often puts another 100 pounds every time his increases his weights. After a few seconds it clicked inside the minds of the younger members. Give me 2 hours, Naruto. Just 2 hours in bed with you. They ran after him with newfound energy. This is getting ridiculous, Naruto shouted in his mind. I have to lose them somehow. It was then Naruto saw his exit as he was quickly coming on an alleyway. Naruto made a sharp turn into it, but he knew it was a dead end. Without stopping, he jumped onto the wall to his left and springboarded onto a fire escape on the opposite side with a graceful flip. This left many fangirls crying out his name at how cool he was, and Naruto drank it all in, loving the attention he received from the female population. I thank you ladies for your affection, but I have to go now, Naruto said with a bow and a shit-eating grin. With a strong leap, Naruto landed on the rooftop and took off as fast as he could. He could hear the cries of the girl and almost felt bad almost. But it wasn't to last as they caught back up to the blonde hero and a horde of hormonal teenage girls. Why does this keep happening to me? By now his claws had many rips from the girls trying to pin Naruto down. It was kind of scary to Naruto as he thought about how good they would be as ninja if they applied their skills to their training. Because we love you, Naruto-kun, was the response from his his fans. Please go train. I don't want any of you to get hurt because you went after me by putting off your training, he screamed, hoping it would stop them from casing him. Too bad it had the opposite effect by driving the girls even wilder, saying how their Naruto-kun cared for them. It wasn't wrong, he did care what happened to them, just not the way they thought he did. After 3 hours, Naruto finally lost them in the forests of Konohagakure as he hid in a tree far above their heads. Naruto liked 2 things about fangirls. 1, he loved the attention they throw at him. Naruto would always be nice to them with a wave, a smile, and occasional good morning. Maybe that was one of the reasons they liked him over the icy Sasuke, who never said anything and glared at most people. The second reason was they helped with his escaping skills and his physical endurance from running away from them, so they didn't wrap him, and he in turn became a father of 20 or so children. Flashback end. The search for the blonde Uchiha lasted until dusk as the fangirls looked for said blonde, and he fell asleep in the leafy haven. Now Naruto had to change and go out get a mission or several. After a long and avoid the fangirls filled walk home. A quick shower and breakfast, Naruto was off to his first official mission. Minus 20 minutes later, Naruto arrived at a tall red building with a large wall going around it. It was around 3 stories in height, and had a symbol meaning fire in black and a red circle in the front. On the roof was 6, 20 feet high white pillars that circle around the roof, which was the same shape as the whole tower. The new genin walked right into the tower and straight into the mission hall. It has a fairly large room that was able to hold the large tables and many chairs inside of it. To Naruto's great surprise, there sat in the middle was his grandfather figure wearing the Hokage robes and hat. Quickly walking up to the desk, Naruto waved at the aged Hokage. "Hey Aji-san, how are you? You ready to hand over that hat yet?" Naruto yelled with his foxy smile, shocking all but the third in the room. "More than you know. As soon as I find someone capable, I'll throw it at them," the old Kage said, poking at Naruto. "Hey, someone has to be prepared to take over when you finally kick the bucket, you old monkey," Naruto said with a victory smirk. That may be true, but the people will want to be able to see their leader, and you don't fit the height requirement," he said as the man filled his tobacco pipe. "Sure, but people want to be able to talk to their Hokage without him turning up his hearing aid." "Oh ho, touche Naruto-kun. Okay, you win this round, but the next one will be harder, I assure you." Sarutobi lit his pipe as he went back to shuffling papers, seemingly ignoring the god-smacked expression on their faces. "So what can I do for you today, Naruto-kun?" "Well, I'm looking for missions, but I know as a genin I have to do a number of D-rank missions before I move on to higher ones." Question is how many?" "Naruto, you not only do you charge in here, but you openly mock the Hokage. Your Hokage? And then you have the nerve to ask for a mission?" Iruka asked. "Yup, that's pretty much it." Naruto deadpanned, causing all but 2 occupants of the room to face fault. "So about the missions, Aji-san? You need at least 25 D-rank missions, then improvement from your squad leader in order to get 1 C-rank," he said as he took a puff. "So how many will you be taking today, Naruto-kun? How many do you have available today?" 127. "How many do your genin teams finishes in a day?" "Around 49 mission per day including low chunin," the Hokage said. "I'll take 75 right now and have them in by the end of the day." "Okay, here you go, Naruto," the aged Hokage said as he handed over a basket full of missions. "See you soon, Aji-san," Naruto said as he ran downstairs. In front of the tower, Naruto sat in front of the tower and looked over the scrolls to sort them into groups. When Naruto finished, he stood up and crossed his fingers for his favorite jutsu. Massive Shadow Clone Jutsu. Teams of 3 clones puffed out nothing and looked at their creator. "Okay, each teams will take 1 scroll and finish by 7 p.m. and return here with the mission report, and I want each one to be a success, got it?" As one, the army of blonde shinobi pushes their feet together and saluted, shouting "SIR, yes SIR," before doing their appointed task. "Okay, 222 clone for 74 missions was a little harder than I thought it was going to be. But I got my own mission to do." With that, Naruto took off. Naruto doesn't use such large numbers as often. The Yamanaka flower shop. Ino sat behind the counter of her flower shop in deep thought. Today she had her first team meeting only to find out that she was even a real ninja yet. Hearing the door bells chime, she pushed her personal problems aside. "Hello, welcome to the Yamanaka family flower shop, how may I help you?" Ino said with her eyes closed and a cute smile across her face. "Yes, I'm here for a mission assigned to me." Ino opened her eyes at the sound of her ex-classmate and fallow blonde. "Naruto?" She walked out from around the counter. "You came for a mission?" "Yup, I have the scroll right here," he said, handing Ino the scroll. "Okay, I guess I'll lead you to my mother as she's the one who put in the request." Naruto simply nodded and followed Ino into the garden. "So we haven't talked much during the academy. I'm sorry about that, it's not like I didn't want to." "It's okay, Ino, we were both busy with your own lives. It's not like we were best friends, we knew each other for a day before I started," Naruto said with a soft, caring smile that made Ino blush and turn her head away. "Ino, who's your friend?" said Ino's mother as she stood up from her flower bed. "This is Naruto, Mom, and he's here for the mission you put in." "That's right, Miss Yamanaka, here's the scroll as proof," Naruto stated as he handed the scroll over. Giving a quick check over, the blonde woman nodded. "Okay, that's great news as you came at the perfect time. I need flowers delivered today at this address," she said as she handed him a slip of paper. "It was meant for 2 days from now, but it got pushed up to today." "You got it, I'll have it done before you know it," he said with a goofy but charming grin. "The flowers are in these 6 boxes," Ino's mother said as she pointed to the wooden boxes on the other side of the garden. 2 shadow clones puffed into existence without Naruto making a move or saying anything. With one hand picked up 2 of the large boxes and applied chakra to keep them from slipping. "Be back in a few seconds, please fill out the form, Miss Yamanaka." With that, he left with his clones close behind. "So Ino, was that the boy who saved you all so long ago from the rapists?" the blonde-haired mother asked. Tilting her head to one side, Ino looked confused at her mother. "Yeah, that was him. Why?" All of a sudden Ino's mother's smile curled upward with a gleam in her eye. It was making Ino very nervous. You never invited him over for dinner like I asked. Ino started to sweat profusely. I forgot too. Well then I guess I'll just do it myself, she said as she walked into the house to tell her husband about their appended dinner guest. Wonder what that face was about. -10 minutes later, Naruto returned to find Ino and her parents out front of their shop waiting for him. Ino looked passive and her mother was smiling softly, but Ino's father looked a little mad or maybe wary of him. Mission is complete within time limit and to the letter, Naruto said in a very businesslike manner. Very good, here's the form and thank you for help, the Yamanaka matriarch said as she handed over the form. We like to invite you to dinner with us tonight. Oh thank you, but I have to hand in my mission reports. That shouldn't take more than a few seconds. I have done a lot of missions today, it take me a while to do them all. Then that's all the more reason to eat dinner with us. You'll be hungry from all of your hard work, she tries to persuade. Then I guess I have to if you insist. Perfect. When do you think you'll be done? She asked as she clapped her hands together. An hour or so I would think, Naruto said with a smile. See you then, Naruto, Ino chirped with a small wave. Yeah, see you then, Naruto exclaimed as he walked away. 7:00 outside of the Hokage Tower. All of the clones and Naruto appeared at the same time at the very second it hit. Then in an orderly fashion the clones handed in the forms one at a time until all 75 forms were in his hands. Good work, I expected nothing less from Omi, he declared with a smug smirk. That's because we're the best, believe it, a clone said with a thump up. Damn right we are, another said. True, very true, another said with a nod. Okay, this is getting weird, Naruto said as all the clones went up in smoke. Walking into the mission hall, Naruto entered with swagger and right up to Irika as the Hokage had other business to take care of. Too many mission at once, Naruto? He asked with a small smile, thinking Naruto was here to turn in the ones he couldn't get to. No, I'm here to turn in the entire set of completed missions, he said, making every person other than him a godsmack look for the second time that day. Looking over the list, Irika saw each one assigned with happy responses. Well okay then Naruto, if you would please wait so we can tally the total of your missions. Naruto just nodded and found a chair and sat down. -45 minutes later. Okay Naruto, take this to the clerk outside and she'll transfer your pay to your account, Irika said with a proud smile. Hey, maybe you could treat me to ramen this time, I love to sensei, but I can't tonight, maybe tomorrow. Sure, and then you can tell me how you managed to do all of those missions at once. Sounds like a plan. How about lunch at noon? Getting a nod from his brother figure, Naruto walks out of the room. How long do you think it will be until he finds out how much he's getting paid, Irika? A random man asked. Irika held up 3 fingers, slowly pulled one, and going from 3 to 1. Holy hell, that's a lot of zeros, he yelled right on time. Every in the hall started laughing their asses off at the blonde ninja. -25 minutes later. After putting on new clothes, Naruto headed to the Yamanaka flower shop / home for the dinner he agreed to. He still could figure out why he said yes, but it was too late to say no now. Knocking on the door, Naruto stood in a simply black shirt and pants. He sat there playing with one of his bangs until the door opened to show the blonde matriarch in the same outfit as earlier. Welcome Naruto, how are you? Said the beautiful woman. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm doing well, he said in a happy tone, and his smile proved it. Stepping aside to allow the young man inside, she asked. Why do you feel about pot roast? I like it, he said as she closed the door and started to walk to the kitchen with him close behind. Oh, that's good, I was worried that you wouldn't like it, she said with a sigh of relief. Naruto simply smiled. You don't have to worry about me, I'm just happy to not have to cook. Oh, you cook? Ino asked as her mother and Naruto walked into the room. Ino's father looked right at Naruto and eyed him closely as his served dinner his wife made. The look said, do anything to my daughter and I'll hurt you. A little, to be honest, I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst either. Well, your mother must be proud. You can cook, you're a polite young man, and a strong ninja to be on your own, said the mother of Ino as she sat down. I hope so, but I wouldn't know. What do you mean, Naruto? Ino asked with a raised eyebrow. My parents died the day I was born. I don't even have a clue as to who they were or if they loved me. I was on my own until my 8th birthday when my adoptive father found me, Naruto said with a small sad smile. That made everyone look a little sad at the blonde. I'm sorry I didn't, Ino started to say, but was interrupted by Naruto. It's okay, you didn't know. Naruto offered a kind smile. Come on, let's eat. Naruto cheerfully dug in, but at dignified pace. Everyone smiled at his upbeat attitude. Yes, let's eat, we don't want this food to go to waste now, do we? The older blonde man said as he started to eat. Over dinner the 4 shared stories, some about missions, some about friends or their childhood. Not Naruto. But to Ino's horror, her mother told every story she could about Ino that should not be told to a boy. Overall, Naruto had a lovely dinner with them. Man, that was a good dinner, thank you for the meal, Naruto said as he headed to the door with the family of blondes close behind. You're welcome, please come again sometime, we would love to have you over, the blonde father said, shocking the 2 females there. Well, do, thanks again. Good night, Naruto said as he disappeared into the night with the family. Say good night back. I'm surprised, honey, I never thought you would say that to any male around Ino's age at any point. Hey dad, are you okay? What the boy grows on you? The man said in his defense, making two women smile at him. With Naruto. Naruto smiled a big toothy grin. He was scared that they would reject him like so many people of the village had done before. He was glad that they didn't. He was also happy that he learned more about Ino and her family. Who knew she used to wet her bed until she was 7 years old? Those stories made him laugh and laugh even harder when Ino exploded at her mother, and that wasn't even the worst of the stories. Well, I'll get my first C-rank mission as a ninja of Konohagakure tomorrow. It should be fun. 1 week later, out in the forest close to midnight, 4 days away from Konoha sat a large camp of 15 tents of different sizes and varying shapes were scattered around and surrounded by a wall of sharpened logs. In the middle of the camp was the largest tent out of all of them, by far, being held up by long sticks and metal poles. Several bonfires were going throughout the camp as the source of heat for the people there. The people looked rough with scars here and there, some had tattoos, and some had weird haircuts as others didn't have any hair. Their cloths varied from rags to normal framer wear, some had rusted samurai armor pieces on. 6 of these people in pairs moved around the camp checking the security of the camp. But none of them noticed a pair of blue eyes watching them from the leaves in the trees lying not more than 12 feet away. Well, that makes 22 bandits in all. I could finish this in 1, maybe 2 jutsu, but where is the fun in that, right? Thought the shadowy person. Well, time to get started then. He chirped inside his head. With unnatural stealth disappeared without making a sound or moving anything. It was as if he wasn't even there. One of the bandits stopped to rest his feet by squatting down, making another look back at him. Hey, what's the matter? One bandit in a blue jacket and brown pants with a mop of black hair asked. Just resting my feet, they're tired from the long patrol, replied the other bandit. He was wearing a green bandana on his head and a black jacket and pants. I just need a few minutes and I'll be fine. Sounds good, I had to take a piss anyways, he said as he walked away. I'll be back in a few. He waved as he went behind some crates. Yeah, okay. The man sat down on the ground and sighed in relief. Man, that's what the doctor ordered, he said happily. Hey, you doing okay over there? Yeah, I'm doing fine. He never finished, he just went silent. Hey, you better not be messing around with me, man, or I swear I'll kill you, the blue jacket bandit said angrily as he walked back from the crates only to find nothing. Hey, where did you go? He said, getting louder. He was about to call out louder, but a hand shot out of the ground underneath him and grabbed his ankle, dragging him underground before he could scream, with the ground closing after his head disappeared. After a few seconds, the ground began to crack as a human figure came from the ground. It took shape, showing the blonde hair and blue eye of Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha. With a few hand seals, a thick fag started to roll over the camp, covering it in a thick layer of fog. Slowly, Naruto's form disappeared as the fog got thicker. Time to complete my mission, Naruto thought as he vanished in the fog. Hey, has anyone seen Tinchi or Jogi? Shouted a bandit as he searched for the missing men with the camp. No. How can anyone find jack shit in this fog? Screamed another bandit. As the man walked along, he heard a thud sound from behind him. What the hell was that? Walking over to the sound, the bandit found the lifeless body of one member of the search party. While the bandit was going to say before, a kunai found its way into his throat, making him drown in his own blood. Hey, did you hear that? Another man nearby said to the group of 3 behind him at the sound of a body hitting the ground. When he got no rep once, he turned around to find all of the men in a pool of their own red life liquid. What did th this? Asked the scared man. I did. That was the last thing they heard before his head was removed from his body. All over the camp, the bandits died one by one. After about 70% of them were confirmed dead, the remaining ones huddled in front of the main tent. What kind of demon could this to so many of us? Asked a bandit who was freaked out. Luckily, for him anyways, he wasn't the only one. I don't know, but keep your guard up, he has to be around here somewhere. The fog started to lift, showing a blurred view of the shinobi as he slowly walked towards them. When the fog was completely gone, the bandits saw what they thought was just a blonde-haired kid covered in blood. Their brains started to contact the pieces between the mass murder of bandits and the so-called child. And no he did th this, he said in a frightened voice. My god, he really is a demon. One started screaming as he held up his makeshift spear shakily. From behind the bandits came the sound of slow clapping, and fast as the seconds passed, with increased chucking until it was full-blown laughter. Brilliant, purely brilliant. Come from the large tent with small torches giving only enough light to show the man's lower half, shadowing his face. For one so young to be able to kill so many men and not even flinch is truly something to behold, he said, making a grand gesture with his arms. But when he said this, it only scared his man more. Please do me the favor of telling me your name, child. My name's Naruto Uzumaki. Who are you? The blonde asked as he pointed his bloody sword at the man. He chuckled a little bit. They call me Twin Blade. The man got up and walked out of the tent, showing his black skin and black beard that went from his ears down to his chin. His upper lip was shaved and had a scar from his lip to his forehead at an angle, barely missing his right eye. His hair was black and in a mohawk. He had many piercings in his ears. His eyes were a pale yellow in color. He was wearing red armor that covered his upper chest in an X fashion with red shoulder and arm guards. He had black fingerless studded leather gloves on with metal plates on the back of them. His was also wearing black shinobi pants with the trims tucked and taped into his black boots. On twin blade back were two broad swords with small figure skulls where the blade and hilt meet, that made the swords to look like twins. Naruto raised an eyebrow as he pulled out a bingo book and flip-flopped the pages. Seeing the blonde Uzumaki does this made Twin Blade's smile grow wilder. I thought I heard your name before. Twin Blade, a high Birak missing ninja from the village hidden in clouds, Chunin level when you left your village and country, said to have been a rising swordsman? Naruto said as he put the book away. I'm going to enjoy killing you, Twin Blade. The claim only made Twin Blade's excitement climb high at the thought of a fight. Come on then and fight me. I want to feel the rush of fighting a strong opponent in a battle to the death. Without waiting, Twin Blade drew his swords and charged at the blonde shinobi with a powerful downward slash at the blonde's head. Naruto jumped to the left, causing the sword to slam into the ground. You're not getting away that easily, he exclaimed, swinging his twin swords horizontally only to be blocked by Naruto's sword, who held it with two hands leaning into the blade to add leverage. In a monotone voice, Naruto said, You talk too much. Then Naruto kicked Twin Blade's legs out from underneath him. As the bandit fell, Naruto readjusted himself and put his sword above his head to jab it down at his opponent's head. Twin Blade rolled to the side with the sword stabbing the ground beside his head. Getting a tight grip on his sword, swung it up at the blonde, hoping to take out one of his legs. But his hopes were dashed as Naruto, in a feat of dexterity, moved into handstand, perfectly balanced on the handle of his blade that was jammed into the ground. The broadsword barely missing the young Uchiha's leg as pasted a centimeter away from it. Naruto let his body fall backwards and used the momentum to pull his sword out of the ground and swung it at the bandit, who was still on the ground. Twin Blade brought his sword up to block the deadly blade coming for his head as he swung the other one to disembowel the blonde. Naruto jumped back to avoid the blade, giving the bandit enough time to get up on his feet. You're good, kid, you almost got me a couple of times there. But what do you say we stop with the foreplay and get to the goods? He said as he slid into a stance with both his swords in front of him in an X pattern. Fine, I was getting bored anyways, he said in the same voice with a blank look on his face. The two combatants charged at each other full speed, with Twin Blade slashing his swords at the blonde, who blocked or dodged them. It was a deadly dance of blades of swordsmanship. Each time the blades contacted, a spark would fly into the air. The bandit smiled like a crazed madman until the blonde threw his sword into the air with a spin. Angered by this, thinking Naruto give up, swung his blades inward only to have them grabbed and pushed away by the blonde shinobi. In a split second, Naruto was now in Twin Blade's face with an elbow into his nose, breaking it, followed by a backhand knocking his head back. Reaching up, Naruto cashed his sword, swinging it down, cutting into the bandit's shoulder and smashing the shoulder plate apart. The only thing stopping Naruto from cutting it off was Twin Blade's quick reaction. Bring one of his twin swords up to block the blade from sinking in any deeper. It saved his arm and kept it working, but with a lot of pain. He was hunched over, holding his bloody arm. The remaining bandits saw their leader in trouble and started to move to help when Twin Blade seen them. Stay there, this is my fight, he yelled, shocking them. This is what I have been waiting for my whole life. That got Naruto a tane. To fight such a strong opponent and die by the blade, I wouldn't have it any other way. Standing to his full height and pointed one sword at the blonde. I want to know why you even came here in the first place, shinobi of Konoha? That's easy, it was my mission. Naruto brought his sword to his side. You are far more entertaining than my last C-rank mission, he sighed. I had to deliver a stupid ladder to a farmer. I'm insulted. Hunting me down has been brought down to a mere C-rank, Twin Blade said with a throbbing tick mark on his forehead. Well, my mission was to destroy the bandit camp. No one even knew you were even here. Naruto scratched the back of his head. He had a goofy smile as he felt they weren't fighting right now. Right, anyways, I'm going to kill you now, Twin Blade said, brings his arms up with blade of his swords crossing each other. In response, the whiskered shinobi turned his body sideways, bringing his sword in front of him tilted slightly upward. Taking his emotionless tone of voice, Naruto's eyes hardened. You can try, just don't cry when I defeat you. A fury of blades soon clashed against another as sparks flew in the air. Stabbing, slashing, and hacking, Twin Blade threw everything at the blonde, but nothing hit. He seemed to flow around his swords or block them. Twin Blade swung his swords downward at Naruto's head for said blonde to block them and lock them in place. The two swordsmen fought in a battle of wills as they pushed against one another, fighting for dominance. With a swift motion, Naruto broke apart from the battle, ducking under the deadly edge of his opponent's sword, taking a lock of hair. Not wasting a second, Naruto kicked the bandit in the stomach, sending him flying into the air. Hitting the ground with a thud, Twin Blade quickly picked himself up in time to get a roundhouse kick to the face, sending him flying into a tree, busting straight though. Coughing up blood, Twin Blade covered his mouth with his hand, dyeing it red. Dame, I can't keep this up. Between the pain and blood loss, I'm about to pass out. Looking up, Twin Blade's blurred vision could make out the blonde figure running at him with a shimmer he could only guess was his sword reflecting the morning sun. Rah! He gave a battle cry as he brought up his swords, only to feel the cold metal cutting into his already wounded shoulder, cutting it off. This is the end, he thought with a smile as his arm flew through the air. His body hit the ground with a thud, the smile still on his face. Goodbye, twin blade, rest in peace. Naruto turned around towards the scared bandits. So what's it going to be, guys? Surrender or die? He said with an empty voice, sending a ghostly chill down the spines of the bandits. Looking at each other, the bandits nodded to each other. One by one they put down their weapons. A few days later at the Hokage Tower, the last of the Uzumaki clan stood in front of the third Hokage with his hands in his pockets. His expression was unable to read to even a seasoned ninja. He just finished his report, and was about to leave when shouting from the hallway gained the occupants of the room attain. The muffled voices made their way through the hall to the door. In the hall, Team 10 made their way down the hall after a mission. Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji were walking in a triangle pattern with Ino at the front with the boys to the side. Amazingly, Ino could still fight with the pineapple-haired youth without missing a beat. Asuma was behind them trying to get rid of the headache he developed from listening to his subordinates. He was around 6 feet in height and muscular in build. His spiky black hair and goatee worked well with his brown eyes. He wears a dark navy blue pants and shirt that was covered in the standard Jonin dark green flat jacket. Gauze was on both of his biceps and a pair of knives that looked like a mix between brass knuckles and a trench knife hanging off his belt. The man was smoking a cigarette. It hung loosely from his lips as he walked down the hallway. Shut it. You don't know anything. The loud famine voice of Ino yelled out. Whatever, I'm just stating the truth, you troublesome blonde. Shikamaru said in a bored voice. Oh yeah, if Sasuke isn't the best. Then who is? You. Ino's voice grew as she got closer to the door. Hell no. It's too troublesome to be the best. The new genin said with his face taking a frown. Looking back, Ino had spiteful look on her face. Then who is Mr. Know-It-All? She said with squinted eyes as she reached for the door handle. Shikamaru looked at her in the eyes with the bored look he always wears. Naruto, was his simple reply. Ino froze in place. She looked away with a small blush that they couldn't see. What did you say? She said quietly, getting Shika to raise his eyebrow. What is going on? All the time I have known her, I have never heard her this quiet. He thought with calculating eyes. It's nice that I don't have to listen to her for once. Why is he dragging this out? Ino's plums were getting sweater every second that pasted by. Well, what did you say? She said as her face got redder. Well, nothing lasts forever. Shikamaru sighed to himself. I said Sasuke isn't the best, Naruto is. Shut you up. Ino stuttered as she opened the door with shut eyes. Walking in the room trying to hide her blush and ended up running into something solid. Falling on her ass ungracefully, Ino rubbed her behind. Hey, watch out where you're going. She yelled in anger, never looking up. Why does this stuff happen to me? I'm sorry, but I think you bumped into me, Ino-chan. Ino, I opened wide as fear sat in. Slowly looking up, Ino sees the face of the blonde male she has been trying so hard to get out of her head for the past week. Here, let me help you, Naruto said with a foxy smile, holding out his hand that Ino took. Trying to fight down the blush on her face, Ino decided to deflect attain by asking a question. What are you doing here, Naruto? She asked, looking away from the blonde hair. Me? Not much, just handing in a mission report, Naruto said nonchalantly. Oh really, your team must be something. 75 D rank in a day is nothing to sniff at, Asuma said as he entered with the boys. The members of his team jaws were on the ground as a winter winds blow past them, covering them in snow. Is that true, Asuma-sensei? A zombie-fed Ino asked as she slowly turned her head towards her teacher. Asuma took a step back as a cold sweat ran down his face. Well, that's what I heard anyways. Man, I never have seen them like this. The god of shinobi chuckled as he smoked his pipe, shuffling through the paperwork on his desk. I'm pleased to tell you that rumor is true. I know because I personally handed the missions to Team 0. Not only that, but every one of them had a happy report from the clients. Shikamaru was the first to break out of his zombie state. Wait, does that mean Naruto got new teammates? That got Asuma to raise an eyebrow. No, the team remains the same as the day you graduated from the academe. The third said, not looking up from his paperwork. But that means now Naruto completed those entire missions himself, Ino said in a state of shock. Asuma's cigarette fall onto the floor as he did his best impression of a fish. What? You mean Team 0 is just one person? Asuma yelled loudly in surprise. Rubbing his ears in pain, the old Kage nodded. Yes, that's correct, Asuma. Ignoring his son stuttering, the third went about his business. Anyways, we're done here, Naruto, you can go now. And take your friends with you, I'm sure, Asuma, and I can take it from here. Naruto nodded and led all the other teens out of the office, shutting the door behind them. Dad, what the hell wrong with you? Asuma shouted as he slammed a fist down on the desk. Just because he's a Jinchuriki doesn't mean he can take on the world alone. Hitting the desk again, he continued. If he goes on anything higher than a D-rank mission, he'll die. How can you let the village Jinchuriki go off without protection? Don't you care about him at all? The third Hokage's face grew dark and angered. Asuma, shut the hell up. The Hokage punched Asuma in the face faster than one would think he could move. Asuma flew across the room and hit the wall, causing spiderweb creaks. How dare you claim that I don't care when you only see him as a weapon? Naruto is a young man. And he's so skilled that if he didn't request to be put into the academy, I would have made him a jonin or umbu the moment he entered my office. You're the one who doesn't care about him, Asuma. You don't see him for who he truly is. He is Naruto Uzumaki of the village hidden in the leaves. Asuma sat on the ground in shock that his father punched him in the way he did. Sure, they spared once in a while as family time, but that was in anger. Sitting back behind his desk fixed the paperwork. In a much calmer tone the third spoke. Asuma, you don't know the first thing about Naruto, so don't pretend to. His right, I was just thinking about a weapon and not the person he is, and I don't know anything about him. Putting his head in his hand in shame, Asuma felt so stupid. How could I be such a fool? Looking at his father, Asuma felt he had to apologize. I'm sorry, father, you're right, I don't know anything about him. You don't have to apologize to me, Asuma. It's Naruto who you have to get forgiveness from, the old Kage said with a small smile. I hear he's looking for someone to teach him about wind chakra, which may be a good place to start, Asuma. Asuma got to his feet and took a deep bow to his father/Hokage. Thank you, I'll do just that. With that, Asuma left to find the group of genin. Asuma, my son, your heart is in the right place, just a little misguided is all, Sarutobi said with a small chuckle. And good luck keeping up with his training, you may run out of things to teach him before you know it. With Naruto and the others were sitting at restaurant that Choji picked out. So the BBQ restaurant that Team Asuma often went to after training or a mission. Shikamaru and Choji sat on one side, leaving Naruto and Ino on the other, much to her embarrassment. Her embarrassment came from the fact that she was trapped next to the wall that their sat was attached to. With Naruto was close, that leaning a little bit she could kiss him. The boys have been talking for past few minutes, and Ino been quite something that didn't escape the notice of the other occupants. Hey Ino-chan, are you okay? Asked Naruto with a concerned look on his face, making him look cuter to Ino, whose blush took over her face. I am fine, she said meekly. What's wrong with me? Why is my heart beating so fast? It feels like it's going to explode. Naruto put his hand to her forehead, making go stiff as a board. Her body started to feel hotter, as a fuzz feeling filled the pit of her stomach. Hun, you don't seem to have a fever, Ino-chan. Are you sure you're okay? Pushing his hand off her forehead, Ino nodded as fast her head allowed. Why is this happening to me? Naruto leaned in closer to the blonde female. Their faces just inches apart, causing Ino's whole body to feel like it was on fire. Are you sure, Ino-chan? Naruto asked, clueless to what he was doing. Please, someone save me. Ino thought as she tried to fight off the weird feelings swarming around inside her. As if to save the day, Asuma chose this moment to appear. Hey guys, what's up? He said with a smile on his face and waving at his genin. Naruto sat straight up to greet the teacher, much to Ino's relief. Well, I thought it would be a good idea to have some training today. Ino just nodded with a smile, but she was cheering on the inside. Yes, now I can forget about that weird stuff. Hey Naruto, I hear you're looking for someone to teach you how to use wind nature. How about you join us and I'll teach you a thing or two? Really? Well, that sounds great, thank you. A goofy smile was plastered on the blonde ninja's face. Ino was pulling out her hair and crying in her corner. Why do you do this to me, Asuma-sensei? Alright, I'll pay for this and we can get going, Asuma said as he started to pull out his wallet. There's no need, Asuma-sensei, Naruto already covered it, Choji said as he started to pack the rest of the food. Asuma blinked a couple of times and looked at Naruto. How did you pay for it all? A blush spread across Naruto's face as he rubbed the back of his head. Well, I had a lot of cash from the missions and had nothing to spend it on. So I treated my old friends to lunch. Asuma smirked at the blonde. I like you already, kid. Ino couldn't believe her luck. First Naruto was in the Hokage office, then Shikamaru and Choji dragged me to lunch with the guy. And to top it off, Asuma now wants to teach him jutsu. Man, why does God do this to me? Come on team, we got a lot of work ahead of us, Asuma said as he exited the restraint. I blame you for this, Shikamaru said, looking like he just woke up. Shut up, you lazy bum. If you got more exercise, you'll have more energy, Naruto said, bumping into him. You know, Naruto, you're right. I should exercise less so I have a real excuse not to do anything, he said in a smug voice. Well, that's one way to go about it, Naruto said, sweat dropping as the genin left out the door. Flashback. Uchiha compound. Sasuke Uchiha walked into the compound after a day of training with his team, and was on his way for further training. Sasuke liked his team as far as they went. He knew it could be worse. Having a pink-haired girl named Sakura was a fangirl, and one was bad enough he would lose his mind if they were two. His other teammate Sai was fairly quick, but when he did speak it was usually to insult someone or question their sexuality. However, was very skilled, so he didn't hold him back any. His sensei Kakashi was strong but lazy, so he really didn't have a good or bad opinion about him yet. But he was teaching them things, so that gave him a couple of points in his book. Sasuke was wearing his blue long collar t-shirt with the Uchiha clan symbol on his back and white shorts alone with his blue sandals. Walking up to a large house, Sasuke takes a deep breath as he opens up the door of his home. Traveling farther into the house, he hears the sounds of soft humming coming from the kitchen. Without thinking, his feet guided him towards the soft music. Stopping at the doorway, Sasuke stops to see his mother in the kitchen cooking lunch, probably for him and Itachi after their days of training and work as head of the clan respectfully. A soft smile spread across his face as he looked one of his last family members. "I'm home, mother," he said softly but happily. Turning around, Makoto saw her son standing in the doorway. "Welcome home, son. Lunch will be ready in a few minutes. Where's brother at?" "I wanted to ask him to train me today," the young raven-haired Uchiha asked. "He is in his study doing paperwork," she said, going back to cooking the food. "Your brother has been doing very well for the past few years as head of the clan." "Thanks, Mom," Sasuke said as he walked through the hall to Itachi's study. The halls were filled with pictures of the family and friends. Sasuke's life hung up on the walls from him being a baby with Itachi holding him to his must-resent of him graduating from the academy, and the party of him, his mother, and his brother Itachi, and the last of the Uchiha, excluding Naruto, having a homemade barbecue thanks to Itachi who cooked. Getting to the oak door, he stopped just in front of the door and knocked sternly. After get a come in from the dull tone of his brother's voice, Sasuke entered to see Itachi writing down information into scrolls. Looking up, Itachi peered into the eyes of his little brother and gained a smile few get to see. "Hello, foolish little brother." Getting a tick mark on his forehead, Sasuke's eyes seemed to go completely white. "Are you ever going to stop calling me that?" he shouted in frustration. "No," was Itachi's simple response, making Sasuke hump and turn to the side. Itachi chuckled at his brother's childlike attitude. "What can I do for you today, Sasuke?" Snapping out of his act, Sasuke faced his brother. "Well, I wanted you to train me today so I could get stronger." Itachi's smile disappeared and a small frown took its place. "I'm sorry, Sasuke, I can't today." Sasuke's face married his own. "I have a meeting today so I can't train you." "I understand, big brother," the Uchiha said, feeling a little sad. Getting an idea, Itachi pulled out a scroll from his desk and set on top of his writing space. "Here, Sasuke, since I can't train you, I'll give you this scroll to learn from. It has some chakra control exercises and fire jutsu, and should keep you plenty busy, and when I return I'll help you from where you're at." Gladly taking the scroll, Sasuke scanned the content and smirked. "This will definitely put me above the blonde dope." Rolling up the scroll, Sasuke smiled at his brother and gave a small bow. "Thank you, brother." Then he left to train out in the courtyard of the compound. "Sasuke, I know who you want to surpass, but I don't think you know just how much a task that really is. After all, he surpassed me long ago and is still growing, so you will have a lot of catching up to do, my foolish little brother," Itachi thought with a smile. With Naruto. Naruto was standing at the edge of a field with his hands clasped together and concentrating on whatever it was he was doing. Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji were working on their teamwork by fighting Asuma and trapping him, but it was far easier said than done for the genin. The three ninja in training was scuffed up with dirt and cuts all over their body, but had Asuma surrounded and in a pinch after what seemed like forever, and was closing in fast thanks to the brilliant mind of the lazy genius. Human boulder jutsu. The Kubi Akimichi cried as his arms and legs tucked into his inflated body and spun around at fast speeds as he charged at his teacher with the intent to flatten him. Asuma jumped over the rolling genin with ease but had to jump to the side to dodge the kunai that Ino threw. "Nice try, but you'll have to do better than that." Choji turned around for a seconded round and, not wanting to take on a tank of meat, the breaded jonin was forced on the run. Dogging the Kubi boy again, he ducked under, shrunk and thrown by the pineapple-haired genius, failing to notice the shadows slowly growing on his back. His danger sense kicked in, telling him to get the hell out of dodge, and he obeyed by jumping to the left like an animal, with just in time as Ino hit the ground where he was a seconded ago, kunai in hand, stabbing it into the ground where his head was. Getting up, Asuma tried to move, but his body suddenly stopped moving. "What the?" "Shadow possession jutsu, complete," Shikamaru said with a smug smirk, and released the jutsu as the exercise is now over. The jonin smiled at his team, impressed with their progress. "Good work, you guys, you're all getting better, and your teamwork was flawless," he said as he starched his macules. Looking over towards the blonde student, his picked up to see him with hands together. "Hey Naruto, how far are you along with the technique?" Naruto turned his head and smiled his goofy, fox-like smile. "That good, well, come over here and let's see it." The blonde shinobi nodded his head as he picked some leaves from the tree above his head. "Asuma-sensei, what is Naruto doing anyways?" the curious female of Team Asuma asked. The teacher looked over at his students as they looked at him with confused eyes. "Well, Naruto right now is attempting to gain mastery over his wind element by cutting a leaf with just his chakra." Opening a bag of chips as it was a free moment, the rounded boy asked his teacher. "Asuma-sensei, how would cutting a leaf help?" "It doesn't sound ever hard. I mean, it sound like something I could do it," he finished as he started to stuff his face with chips. "Well, I thought the same when I started to train with my wind nature. But just like tree or water walking, the concept is far easier to understand than to put into practice. As an example of how hard this really is, I would say trying to do this is kind of like taking your bare finger and try to cut a steel sheet in half in one try," he said, getting bugged eyes from the genin under his command as Naruto ran up with a fist full of leaves. "The idea behind it is simple really. The ninja would mold his chakra into two blades and grind them together, making them as thin and sharp as possible in order to cut the leaf. If one could do this, then they could apply it to their jutsu, making them stronger and able to cut through anything depending how in tone to the element you were. Hey Asuma-sensei, I think I have this down." Smiling brightly at the blonde, he chuckled at the thought of him getting this down in only a couple of hours when it took even gifted weeks to complete it. Okay, let's see what you got, and if you did it, I'll tell the second step. Getting a nod from the blonde, he placed 4 leaves in the palm of his hand, making Asuma raise an eyebrow. After putting his hands even on top of each other, he closed his to focus, turning his chakra to wind affinity. The 3 genin leaned in to see if there was some trick to what his was doing. What is he doing? One alone he hard enough, but he just put 4 down. There's no way he can do this. To do so would take unbelievable amount of focus and control, along with a natural talent that would put genius of the likes of Itachi to shame. Naruto opened his eyes and removed his upper hand, showing Leafs with a smirk on his face. The Jonin looked at Leafs with a sweat drop. It doesn't look like he even touched them. Naruto brought his flat palm to his face and blew, causing the leaves to fly off as they split apart straight down the middle, causing Asuma to freeze in place as he watched them fly away. Ino looked on in amazement with a light pink dusting her cheeks. Wow, Naruto, how are you able to do these things? She thought as her body started to heat up. Naruto, just how strong are you going to get? Every time I think I can see the end of your potential, I then see a whole new level, that even deeper than before. The lazy genius thought with a cold sweat trickling down his face. Please, Kami, don't let us ever be on opposite side of battle. Choji just stared on blankly as he dropped the bag of chips in shock. Naruto flashed them his fox-like smile. Right then the few clouds that was in the sky moved out of the sun's way, letting the light shine through, lighten up his golden hair. What's next? Asuma broke out of his trance. Right, sorry, the next step is hard, but we can't do right now because we need a waterfall. Reaching into his pouch, Asuma pulled out a scroll. I don't know of any, so here's a scroll in case you find one, he said as he tossed it at the blonde, who caught it with ease. Thanks, Asuma-sensei, you're welcome. When you get that part mastered, come find me and I'll show you some useful jutsu. Anyways, that's it for today, so you're free to go, Naruto. Team, stay behind, there's something I want to talk to you about. Naruto nodded and said his goodbyes to his friends and left. Okay team, I wanted to say good work on your teamwork and that I'm impressed. So much so I think I'll give you guys a couple days to relax, but after that we'll do a C-rank mission. I don't know how, but this is somehow your fault, Naruto. The Nara hair thought with a twitching eyebrow. The next day, with at the Hokage Tower, Team 7 made their way through the Hokage Tower at noon after morning training, on their way to the mission hall with Kakashi behind his genin reading his smut. Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai walked side by side down the hall with Sakura, tried to get the Uchiha to agree to a date with Sasuke, shooting her, and every time he did, Sai commented about Sasuke either being gay or asked if he had a small dick and was scared to let others know. Of course, this pissed off both the Uchiha and his fangirl. The team walked into the Wasai sporting new bumps thanks to the wreath of a pink-haired kunoichi, and that pleased Sasuke, judging by the smirk on his face. Their Jonin instructor shook his head in amusement and followed his team through the door to the mission hall. Team 7, reporting in for a mission, Kakashi said without ever removing his face from his book. The third Hokage looked up from desk and nodded towards and picked up a list of D-rank missions. Okay, let's see what we have. We have walking dogs for the Inuzukas, painting a soon-to-be restaurant, weeding a garden for an elderly woman, catching the Domino's wife's pet cat Tora. Every shinobi in the room shuddered at the thought of the cat that has become known as a demon in feline form. Hokage-sama, enough with this B.S mission, we want something worthy of our skill, Sasuke yelled, getting nods from his teammates, as they too were tired of the lame missions. Iruka shot up from his set, slamming his hands down onto the table. Show some respect, you brat, you're just genin, the lowest level of ninja, and so you get missions as such. Iruka Thing went into teacher mode and went on a boring speech about ninja and how the missions are sorted out based on rank. Looking back at the genin, he saw them listening to a story on how Sakura compared different types of hair products had the best effect, and in combination, the real icing on the cake was that even the third was over near the genin lesson as well. Hokage-sama, what are you doing? Everyone in the group looked back at the Chunin with wide eyes because they forgot where it is they were. I'm getting hair advice for my grandson, the old Kage said in a questioning tone. Appearing back near his set, the god of shinobi coughed into his hand with a small blush on his face. Anyways, before you can get a mission, you must get approval from your Jonin sensei first. So Kakashi, do you think your team is ready for a C-rank mission? The man in question looked at his team for a minute before turning back to his Kage and nodded. Yes, I think they have the skill and teamwork for a simple C-rank mission, Hokage-sama. Very well, I have just a mission for, but first someone must be present for this. Umbu. An Umbu ninja fell from seemingly nowhere before the aged Kage in a kneeling position. Get Naruto Uzumaki and bring him here. Tell him it in emergence. The Umbu nodded before disappeared for the assigned task. After a minute, the Umbu appeared in the room with the blonde, who was dressed in black Umbu sandals and pants but with no top, and soaking wet, showing off his muscular body and seal that looked like a tattoo which was on his abdomen, making every woman in the room blush. This counts Sakura, and the two female Umbu in the room. Sai notices Sakura's blush as her whole body becomes stiff with blood slowly trickling out of her nose as thought about the man in front of her. What's the matter, old man? Naruto asked in full battle mode, only to find the area void of danger. Well, Naruto, Team 7 is going out on a C-rank mission, and I think this is the perfect time for you to get some much-needed experience, the Hokage said, signaling that there was much more going on than there appeared to be. Reaching into his bag, Sai pulls out a book and flipped through the pages until he found the page he was looking for. Sakura, my books say that when a female is blushing and blood leaking from her nose, that most likely means that she is expressing an intense desire to mate with said object she looked at when the symptoms started, he said as he read the book. Also it says that when numerous female express the same thing towards a man, it means that there's a chance that he has a large male reproductive organ. Everyone in the room get unbelievable quiet as a weird crow and stupid looking started to crow just outside the window. Sai, not noticing the tension, thought everyone was waiting for an answer to the question as he has read in another book. So not wanting to upset his teammates, Sai walked over to the shell-shocked blonde whose mind stopped working and pulled down his pants in one swift movement and let it drop to his ankles. Naruto turned to stone as his manhood stood out for all to see, making every woman in room blast back via noise bleed at seeing Naruto's 7-limbed cock hanging out. Several minutes later, and one bloody Sai. Fixing his pants, Naruto had his eyes closed with a deep blush on his face. Anyways, who is that emergence? Well, I wanted to get you here as soon as possible, but it's now apparent I had made an error in judgment. In any case, Naruto, go get your things because I don't want to see my grandson's junk again. The aged of Kage said, getting nods from the other males in the room except Sai, who didn't understand what he did. After a few moments, Naruto walked through the door in his full gear and even had his sword out and hooked into place on the blonde's back. His midnight back coat open, showing his fishnet steel shirt with nothing over top of it, exposing his chest to the world. Overall, he gave the mix of a killer shinobi and sex appeal. Okay, now what the mission, Aji-san? Naruto said in a monotone voice, making Sasuke look at the blonde in surprise. He sounded just like Itachi. But how is that possible? Could it be a coincidence, or is he really? The grandfatherly Hokage broke Sasuke out of thoughts. Yes, your mission is to escort a master bridge builder to his home country of Wave and protect him from bandits and highwaymen until its completion. Please bring in the client now. Soon the door opened to show a man in his late 40s with gray hair and goatee. He was around the same height as Kakashi with a whiskey bottle in hand as he leaned on the door frame. The man had glasses that hung down on his nose and wore a brown sleeveless vest with tan shorts that went past his knees and a pair of sandals that were meant to be walked on for many hours out of the day. I am Tazuna, and you expect me to believe these brats are the ninja I hired to protect me. Most of them look like they wouldn't be able to protect themselves, let alone me. Taking a gulp of the bottle, he sighed in satisfaction. The only one out of this lot that looks like he's worth anything is the kid in black with the sword, and he looks like he would rather fuck my daughter than protect us if the time came, he stated with dissatisfaction. Sai simply gave a small fake smile before he responded. Well, from what I read, Naruto-san would have the necessary amount to please about any woman, and if that wasn't enough, then his stamina would certainly do the job, as he is able to outrun all of the jonin within Konoha for days at a time. Everyone just ignored the pale boy and went on with the conversation. Well, my team may not like much, but each one has the strength to protect you. Even if they can't, I'm a jonin of the highest skill, and then there's the blonde here as backup and is skilled enough to this kind of mission on his own, so you'll be pliantly safe, Kakashi said, trying to reassure the man but questioning his own statement about Naruto's skills, having not seen them himself. But if the third thought he was strong enough to be in a team by himself, then he would trust his Kage. Okay, so we'll meet in front of the gates tomorrow at 9 o'clock, have your stuff packed and ready to go. Getting a nod from everyone, they left expect Naruto, as the old Hokage wished to talk with him farther. The next day, Naruto arrived at the specified location on time to see the members of Team 7 arrive without their sensei, and their client waiting half asleep. After 10 or so minutes, Kakashi appeared in a plume of smoke and gave a weak wave. Yo! He said, getting a shout of "You're late." From the pink-haired Kunoichi. Well, you see, a black cat crossed my path. He saw they weren't buying it, so he settled for coughing in his hands. Anyways, let's get on with the mission. Naruto, I know you have got used to working on your own, but you're on a team now, and I'm in charge as your commanding officer for the duration of this mission. Do you understand? He asked in a serious tone, here only a few times from his genin team. Yes, Kakashi, and just so you know, I have worked in teams before, so don't worry about me being unable to cooperate. Good, now let's go, team. The sliver-haired jonin said as he started to walk with the client close behind. A little time later, the team walked down the dirt road from Konoha to Wave Country, with Sakura asking Tazuna about the country's history and what it was like there. Kakashi stepped in to talk about how Wave doesn't have ninja and the element country's hidden villages worked and the various kage that ruled over them. Sasuke listened in hoping to hear about some powerful shinobi, and Sai pertained to out of curiosity, or so he read. They learned that Wave was a small country of islands that largely depended on fishing and their carpenters for business. As they walked down the path, Naruto saw a puddle on the edge of the road. Eyeing it for only a second, Naruto put his hands in his coat pockets in a cosily manner. The puddles rise up and took the shape of two human figures wearing identical outfits. They wore gray and white cameo jumpsuits with raincoats over them and breathers over their mouths used for underwater. One man had spiky black hair and a forehead protector that had two horns on it to help him look more intimidating. The other ninja also had black hair but was combed down, with his forehead proctor having a horn going straight up the middle of his head where his hair parted. Both had a clawed gauntlet on opposite arms, one per person, that had a chain of shurinkens contacting them. Let's kill them, brother. They rushed forward at the unexpected group of ninjas, wrapping the jonin up in their chains tightly, preventing escape, as the sharp edge dug into Kakashi's flesh. One down. said the spiky-haired brother. They gave a swift pull with their gauntlets, ripping the man to shreds, making the Team 7 freeze in place. As they went to move, they felt another pull on their chain, causing them to stop and look back, seeing the blonde sword stuck through holes of the chain where the line would converge, stopping them from moving as it was pegged to the ground. The blonde himself was standing on the hilt of it. Naruto quickly spun around, throwing 2 kunais at the base of their spine, forcing them to detach chain or be crippled for the rest of their, no doubt, short lives. Making a quick dash, one of shinobi went towards the old drunk as the other one went for the black-haired Uchiha. Sakura, an amazing amount of braveness, stepped in front of Tazuna, who was terrified, with kunai in hand to protect him. Naruto reached down and grabbed hold of his sword's hilt, and seemed to vanish and reappear in front of Sakura to stab the spiky-hair shinobi in the knee, forcing him to the ground in a sudden halt. In movement faster than anyone besides Kakashi could see, Naruto threw a couple more kunais at the other brother's feet with enough force to sink halfway. This caused him a moment pause of pain, allowing Sasuke to punch him in his face before grabbing the front of his raincoat to use the momentum to jump up and knee him in his stomach, making him lose the air in his lung. Quickly, Sai brought out ninja wire and restrained the 2 ninja. Appearing out of thin air, Kakashi stood in front of his team. Good work, team, impressive work. Sakura face lit up with untold happiness that her sensei wasn't killed. Kakashi-sensei, you're alive. Oh, come on now, you didn't really think I would go down that easily, did you? He asked with a nice smile. In any case, Sakura, you did well jumping in front of Tazuna to save him. You showed impressive courage and I'm proud of you. That got a happy blush from the girl. Sasuke, good work on hitting the enemy hard so he'll stay down, and Sai, you did well restraining them so quickly. Every smooth work, guys. Sasuke gave a cocky smirk and Sai looked the same as always with his fake smile. And we can't forget the bread and butter of this fiasco, Naruto, who was able to disable 2 Chunin veterans in a matter of moments. You showed amazing skill and executed them perfectly, Kakashi said as he gazed at the blonde. He is strong, too strong to be a genin even if he's on his own. Besides, I could see it in his eyes, the claim that only comes from being in life and death battles countless times. He didn't flinch or hesitate, like he knew the outcome of the battle before it even began. Naruto rubbed the back of his head bashfully. Oh, thanks, but I really didn't do much. Sakura couldn't believe what she was hearing. He single-handedly gave us victory, and he acting like he just sat there and did nothing. Everyone I have ever met would have boosted about it, but not Naruto. He's too humble for such things, Sakura thought as a small blush worked its way to her face in admiration of the blonde shinobi. Tazuna looked a little freaked out. He was so fast I couldn't even see him, but with him guarding me I won't have much to worry about him so far. Naruto looked over at the Chunin that was tied to a nearby tree. Looks like you were right, Aji-san. Flashback. Naruto just walked into the Hokage's office with the third and shut the door behind him. With a couple of hand signs, a faint blue overtook the office, keeping those from outside the room from hearing inside. Turning around, Sarutobi walked to his desk and sat down. Naruto, I suspect that the mission that you're going on is far more dangerous than it appears. Naruto's face looked like it was made from stone as he didn't react. You think Tazuna lied? Nodding slowly, his old face was completely serious. Yes, I do, but I think he did it out of fear. That's why I'm sending you on this mission, Naruto. You'll be able to protect him and Kakashi's team. Do not be mistaking, Naruto, this is undercover mission to weed out what has Tazuna so scared and cut the beast's head off. Naruto nodded respectfully. Here, take this in case Kakashi ends the mission. He handed Naruto a scroll. Taking a quick scan, his eyes widen. End flashback. These are Kirigakure Chunin. They're famous for their willingness to fight to complete a mission until death. Not only that, they were waiting and watching for us. The sun was out, and it's been days since it last rained, so there was no way for there to be a puddle, so it was obvious a genjutsu. Naruto here picked up on it right away but didn't act because, like me, he wanted to find something out. Spoke the Jonin in a lecturing tone as the bridge builder started to sweat. What would that be? He said worriedly. What they were really after? Were they after us, ninja attacking ninja? But they weren't, they were after you, the bridge builder. In any case, it's clear that this is more than a mere C-rank mission. If so, protecting you until the bridge would be a simple thing. But if you're expecting to be target of a ninja assault, then it is beyond question that this would be ranked higher for elite ninja. This is far beyond the scope of the mission. My question is, why did you lie? Tazuna teeth clenched in frustration and tightened his fist until his knuckles turned white. With a deep sigh, he unclenched his hands, knowing that if he wanted help he would have to tell the truth. There's a real scary man out for my life. Kakashi eyed him, letting him know to continue. You have probably heard of him. He's a billionaire in the field of marine transportation. His name is Gato. Kakashi's eye widens. You mean Gato of shipping and transport? They say his is the richest man in the world. The old man nods. That's the one. On the surface he looks like a legitimate businessman. But in truth his is a murdering criminal who employs gangs and bandits to do his dirty work, and traffics in drugs and contraband, including humans. Sakura paled at the thought, knowing he meant sex slaves. It was a year ago that he showed up under the banner of good business, but he soon overtook all of Wave's shipping industries. Then he started using violence to keep us under his thumb. After all, the man who rules the sea rules the country, and the only thing he fears is the completion of the bridge. for with its completion his hold over the land will be broken. So being the architect and overseer of the bridge construction you are much in his way, Mr. Tazuna, Sakura said as she rubbed her chin in thought. Why didn't you just say you needed help? My country is very poor, our lords are poor. And I have no money at all, an elite B rank was more than I could afford. Adopting a seldom look, Tazuna gave off a depressing air about him. Naruto's blue eyes softened in sympathy for the bridge builder and his people. Walking over to the man, he placed a hand on his shoulder sportively. Don't worry, I'll help you in your country. Naruto, that's not really your call, but what do the rest of you think? Asked Kakashi with a half-lidded eye. Sasuke was the first to respond. I say we go, we can handle it. Sai just nodded. Yeah, with us acting as a team, nothing can stop us. Sakura exclaimed happily and full of confidence. Somewhere deep in the woods of Wave, a building that looked like some kind of insect hive with 3 openings sat. 2 were rope bridges and the last was a spiral staircase leading up from the ground floor. Wooden planks covered it as it hung onto a tree. Failed? What the hell do you mean you failed? A 4-foot man screamed. He wore a black business suit and tie with darkened sunglasses. His spiky graying hair was up with it flatting downwards. If you weren't the best, I wouldn't be paying top dollar. But all his yelling got him was a large sword to his throat. Shut up, you ungrateful runt, said a chillingly calm voice that sounded like death. Following the sword, you saw it was 6 feet in length and a foot wide. A small opening the size of a hand near the top and a crescent moon shape was built into the cutting edge of the blade, making a pocket big enough of a person's head. Holding onto the 2-foot handle was a 6 feet 2 inches man with short and shaggy brown hair. He had no shirt but a brown leather sword holder. He wears a white and dark gray cameo arm and leg warmers. The demon brothers failed Gato. I will now take care of this myself. Taking a gulp, the midget of a man knew one wrong move would mean his life. Yes, sir, but are you really sure you want to? The enemy has hired ninja of tremendous skill. Besides, after the last attempt, they will be on guard now. The sword-wielded ninja's face scrunched up in contempt. Just who do you think you're talking to? I am Zabuza Momochi, the demon hidden in the mist. And none shall escape my blade. We find our heroes in a small fishing boat going across the large body of water at the crack of dawn under the cover of the thick morning fog. The team of ninja had been talking about Tazuna's bridge to pass the time, but did so quietly, with the genin of Team 7 being absent-minded of their surrounding, but Naruto was alert as ever. Kakashi's lone eye unnoticeably pecked over the orange adult novel he was reading to glance at Naruto, who was reading a book about the theory of advanced sealing in a similar manner as himself. Sealing is one of the hardest skills to master. It takes years of practice to master even the basics of the art, yet here he is reading advanced level stuff. Maybe I'm overthinking it. After all, reading about ninjutsu and such could just be a hobby of his. With that thought, he buried his face back into his smut. Sakura looked over at the 2 deadly ninja reading their respective books and sweat dropped. She leaned in closer to her teammates to whisper, Hey, have you guys noticed how similar Naruto and Kakashi-sensei are? Sasuke opened his eye and glanced at the pink-haired Kunoichi and then at the 2 reading ninja. They like to read, I don't see what the big deal is. Sasuke said in an equally quick tone. No, she right, dickless. Naruto and Kakashi-sensei share a lot of similar traits outside of reading. Sai commented. Like what, you pale dope? The young Uchiha said with a tick mark on top of his head. Sai made no visible reaction to Sasuke name-calling and went on. Well, for one, both of them are acting like they're in a tea house instead of on a high-risk mission. Another is that Naruto has almost identical body long to Kakashi. Sasuke humped. So what, they're both trained as ninja by the same village, they're bound to have identical body long. Sakura sighed. He has a point, Sai, maybe I'm just imaging things. A grin scratched across his face and descended to mess with his fellow genin. Bringing the book down to the bridge of his nose, Naruto gave an eye smile at whispering genin. You know we can hear you right. The trio heads turned so fast that it looked like they would have whiplash and widened eyes. A ghostly masked face of their teacher seemed to overlap Naruto as he looked just like him with the eye smile. Sakura slowly turned her head around with Sasuke and Sai doing the same. Okay, maybe there's something to it after all, she said as if she'd seen the devil and getting a nod out of her teammates. Kakashi and Tazuna were laughing lightly at the young ninja antics. Several minutes later, Kakashi and team were walking down a dirt road as they surrounded Tazuna and on higher alert than before. Naruto looked side to side as they made their way to Tazuna's house with a foreboding feeling in the pit of his stomach. The blonde's eyes darted to some bushes and watched them move for a split second. Naruto turned his head as if he saw nothing but inwardly smirked about the sure-to-be incoming fight. A swishing sound filled the air and was getting louder quickly. Get down! Kakashi screamed as he tackled Sasuke and Sai to the ground, with Naruto getting Sakura and the old bridge builder down and out of the way. The massive sword of Zabuza stuck into the tree not too far from where Team 7 took a dive. The figure of the swordsman stood on top of the sword's handle as the team and Tazuna got back up onto their feet. Well, it's no wonder why the demon brothers failed, with a shinobi leader as the infamous ninja Kakashi Hatake. The man somehow said with bandages around his as he stood with his back turned to people on the ground. Kakashi is the only one out of the group who looks like he could put up a challenge. His eye drifted over to the group until his eye landed on Naruto. He looks familiar, but where have I seen him before? Now's my chance to show that blonde dope who's the best, and I'm not going to miss it. Sasuke thought as he started going for his kunai pouch. Well, if it isn't Zabuza Momochi, the kid who ran off from Kirigakure and became a missing ninja. Sasuke started to run at the dangerous ninja but was cut off by Kakashi holding his arm out. Don't interfere and give me room, this one is different from the previous opponents. Reaching up to his headband, this covered his left eye, and grabbed a hold of it of the metal. For an opponent of this caliber I'll need to use this. All of you assume battle positions and protect Mr. Tazuna. He pulled the headband up to reveal his red eye of the Sharingan. The Sharingan so quickly in battle, this is an honor. Zabuza said, now facing Kakashi. Sakura looked at Kakashi. I have heard about the Sharingan, but what does it do? The Sharingan is a visual jutsu that enables the user to penetrate and see the reality behind any genjutsu, taijutsu, or ninjutsu and reflect them back at the one who cast them. And there's more to them. Sasuke answered the pink-haired kunoichi. That's right, brat, the Sharingan is the most formidable asset, also allows the user to discern and the duplicate any jutsu it sees, turning the opponent's own jutsu against them. When I was assassin for Kirigakure I possessed a bingo book, a kind of who's who of your greatest enemy list. It had quite the extensive write-up on you, including a mention on your impressive record. Kakashi Hatake, the man who had seen through and copied over 1,000 jutsu, nicknamed Kakashi the copycat ninja. Wow, I didn't know Kakashi-sensei was such a big deal. The one female of the group thought in amazement. The demon of the hidden mist crouched down and grabbed a hold of the handle. Enough with the pleasantries, I'm on a tight schedule to kill the old man. The genin got into a proactive circle around Tazuna. But it looks like I'll kill you first, Kakashi. With a strong kick, Zabuza freed his blade from the trunk of tree and landed on the surface of the water, and stood there as if was land with little waves going outward from his feet. One of his hands was in front of his chest, and the other was scratched far above his head. Hidden mist jutsu. A thick fog quickly overtook the land and making hard to see 2 feet in front of your face. Everyone stay on your toes, I haven't mastered very aspect of the Sharingan yet. There are 8 targets. Came Zabuza's disembodied voice from the thick mist as he filled the air with killer intent. Throat, spinal column, lungs, liver, the jugular vein, the subclavian artery, kidney, heart. He said in attempt to scare his opponents, and succeeding in scaring the old man and the genin of Team 7, but not Naruto or Kakashi. Sasuke was trembling in fear of the jonin out for his blood. This bloodlust that fills the air, is this really what it's like when 2 jonin fight? It's unbearable, I feel like I'm going to choke to death. To know my life is in the hands of my enemy, that even blinking could decide if I live or die. I hate it, I'd rather kill myself, he thought, grabbing a hold of a kunai ready to stab it into his gut and spill it all over the ground. Sasuke! Kakashi yelled out in the mist. Don't worry, I'll protect all of you. I won't allow my comrades to die, he said, calming the collective group down. I wouldn't bet on that, Zabuza said loudly as he appeared in the middle of genin, forcing them and Tazuna to fall to the side in fright. Before he could react, Zabuza found a sword piercing his back and through the other side hitting his kidneys. Shock overtook his face as he looked over his shoulder and followed the blade back to its owner to find Naruto looking in the opposite direction into the mist. Zabuza turned into water and splashed on the ground. Kakashi was as shocked as Zabuza at the quick dispatch of the water clone that he didn't notice the missing ninja behind him. You let your guard down, Zabuza said as he swung his clever-like sword, cutting the jonin in half. But like Zabuza, Kakashi turned into water midair and reappeared behind him with kunai to his neck. Game over, the Cyclopes ninja said. Well, would you look at that? You were able to copy me in the cover of the mist. But don't you think for a moment that one because it will take more to defeat me than mimicking me like an ape. But you are good. In the time you gave your little speech you duplicated my water clone technique and replaced yourself with it so my attention would be on it. Bravo. Another Zabuza phased behind Kakashi. But I'm not that easy to fool. Taking a strong sweep with his bladed, Zabuza swung it at Kakashi, who ducked under the razor-sharp edge, making the blade dug into the ground. Zabuza used the momentum to his advantage and kicked the teacher into the air and fly across the field and into the river. The ex-mist ninja gave haste after Kakashi, but his path was blocked Caltrip's traps, but he wasn't deterred and jumped onto the river as Kakashi came up for air. Water-style water prison jutsu. A sphere of water trapped him inside. You fall right into my trap. The prison may be made of water, but it's stronger than steel. Having you running around is too much trouble. I'll finish you off later. I have dealt with your brats. Damn it, I knew he was strong, but I didn't think he was this strong, Kakashi thought to himself as a water clone of Zabuza raised from river. You brats think having headband makes you a ninja, but you're wrong. A true ninja is one who has been between life and death so many times the lines blur. Clothes don't make you a shinobi, but skill dedicated to kill your opponents from years of training to be a ninja. When you killed enough people to make a listing in my bingo book of enemies, then you may call yourself a ninja. So until then, Zabuza vanished and reappeared in front of Sasuke and kicked him the stomach, sending him skidding and skipping across the ground. You're nothing but brats, Sasuke! Sakura yelled out as she caught the flying boy. Everyone listen! Take Tazuna and go. It's a fight you can't win. Well, his has me in this water prison he can't leave, and his water clone can't go far from his real body. Kakashi screamed. Naruto stood in the back of the group and did a few hand sighs, making a soft blue light glow under his jacket before it faded, but not before Zabuza and Kakashi caught it. What was that? Naruto, what are you planning? The blonde Uchiha stepped forward as he drew sword from his sheath. Sakura, can you do me a favor? He asked with an aura that screamed power, looking at her from the corner of his eye. The kunoichi in question nodded her head. Watch over Tazuna and your teammates while I get your sensei. Not even waiting for a response, Naruto blurred from